me? Let's make some noise. 1,000 fans in here. Let's make some noise. I love you all. Thank you so much for having me this evening. Thank you very much. Your thoughts on the fights? It's a fight. Let's talk more action. That was my thoughts on it. Let's talk more action. We done our press conference on Thursday. On Friday, it was a bit of back-to-back, but boxing's about less talk and more action. And I hope everyone was satisfied tonight. Not only with my fight, but the whole undercard as well.
There was talk in the build-up about returning to the old AEJ. You called it the rough and ready, the bruiser. Did we see signs of that tonight, particularly with the uppercut, which seems to be the honey punch for you?
You would have to ask Rob McCracken, Joby Clayton, Nigel Fernandez about that. For me, I stuck to what I know best, boxing, looking at where I'm going to put my shots and put them together, and then when they're successful, they're successful. As I said, it's just less talk and more action. I don't even really want to do an interview because I just want the fans to appreciate the hard work. Everyone go home and have a lovely Christmas, and we'll reunite in 2021.
I totally respect that. I'm just going to ask a couple of questions from the fans, because the people do want to hear from you. You've had this laser-like tunnel vision throughout the preparation for this, and I don't even think we've mentioned any names. But now, with a view to the future, are you prepared to entertain the talk of an undisputed...
You ask the fans. I'm asking, you do. That's your job as a promoter for Sky. You ask the crowd what they want to see. I'm up for anything. Look at the resume. You ask them. You ask. Give them some names.
Okay, I mean, who wants to see Anthony Joshua box Tyson Fury in 2021? I feel like this is Eddie Hearn's job.
That's his job, bro. That's Eddie Hearn's job. That's 258 management's job.
Do you want that fight?
Last year, right? 2019. Look, bro, I started this game in 2013. I've been chasing all the belts. I've been dealing with mandatories. Of course, I want to challenge. It's not about the opponent. It's about the legacy and the belt. Whoever's got the belt, I'd love to compete with them. If that is Tyson Fury, let it be Tyson Fury. It's no big deal.
That road to the undisputed is almost clear now.
It's the road to my next fight. I don't care about anything else. It's just one fight at a time, picking them off one by one. That's all it's about for me. I've got to stay focused, man. I've got to stay focused.
Yeah. Promoter Eddie Hearn. It's my turn to ask you a question now. It's going to take people on both sides to come to the negotiating table. In 2021, would you like to see Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury contest the undisputed heavyweight title?
First of all, I just want to welcome everyone back. It's amazing to see so many faces here tonight. Genuinely, we've missed you. But you know, now, I think I've talked a lot over the years. There's been a lot of talk. Like he said, it's less talk, more action. Since he came into the office, he wanted to be the undisputed champion of the world. Less talk from us, more action. We're going to be friendly. We're going to be nice. We know what we have to do. Starting from tomorrow, we make the Tyson Fury fight straight away. It's the only fight to be made in boxing. It's the biggest fight in boxing. It's the biggest fight in British boxing history. I know he wants it. He is the best heavyweight in the world. I promise you. He'll break him down, he'll knock him out. But for me, less talk, more action. We know what we have to do. We know what we want to do. It's about legacy, and we will get it done.
Just to echo that, do you believe that you are the best heavyweight in the world?
Bro, I know who I am. I'm not in a fight with anyone else except for myself. I'm the best version of me. I'm the best IBF, IBO, WBA, WBO champion of the world. That's who I am. That's all that matters. Thank you very much for having me. Everyone at home, everyone in the arena, I love you all, and Merry, Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. Eddie?
Wow, what a great night of boxing. Here you heard it from the man himself, AJ, Anthony Joshua, my brethren, all the way from London, telling the world that he's ready for Tyson Fury. He's not backing out for nothing. What a great performance on the weekend. What does everybody think about the Anthony Joshua and Pulev performance, from the dominant performance Anthony Joshua gave to the people from the first round until he stopped him? Let's get to rope-a-dope. My brethren from London, we're going to break it down, the post-fight analysis, like rope-a-dope told everybody. Let me get him to the channel. Give me a second. I hope everybody's doing well. Smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Rapstar Boxing Knowledge is in the house. Give us a second, man. Let's get this show rolling. Let's get this show popping, bro. Rope-a-dope, how you doing, my brother? How's it going, mate?
All good, mate. All good. What's going on?
Mate,
We're chopping
we
it up
told
late as we
everybody.
do, man. Like the midnight owls. We chop it up late.
Hey, we're the midnight owls. We're the early graveyard shift. We love boxing, bro. But
Yeah,
listen,
we like to show love not just to the UK fans, but we're reaching out to everyone out there. We're reaching out to the people in America. We're reaching out to the people in Mexico, everywhere, all around the world. We're trying to reach everyone we can. Just to, I hope they enjoy this, and we'll try to make it good for you guys.
hey, Rope-a-dope, we told everybody. I've got all the receipts. I've got all the facts. We told everybody. I can play it in a bit. I told everybody, Anthony Joshua, 9th round stoppage. You told everybody that Anthony Joshua is going in with a dominant performance. Let's just touch on that. Why don't you break down what you saw on the fight this weekend?
Look, first of all, I want to say it was a great night for British boxing. British boxing should be proud. We saw a good performance from AJ. Obviously, we saw him coming in. I know a lot of people are looking to see. I mean, I saw a comment by Teddy Atlas, and he actually said something, and I'm going to paraphrase what Teddy Atlas said. He said, "The ghosts of Andy Ruiz are still up in the attic of Anthony Joshua." In other words, he was saying that the experience and that bad experience, what happened with AJ and Andy Ruiz, is still sitting in AJ's head. So he made a little comment about that. Now, I wanted to say something about that. Teddy Atlas is a respected pundit. He's a respected trainer. He's a big voice in the boxing world. But I've got to say something about that. Why shouldn't they live in his head? Or do you expect him to just come out and start rushing in like a yo-yo? Because if he did, then people are going to say, "Oh, he didn't learn anything from that fight, that loss that he had." So what do you expect him to do? This is what D. Jefferson was saying the other day as well, that this is the sort of thing that happens to AJ, is that no matter what he does, he can't win. You know, he had a bad experience with Andy Ruiz in the first fight. He came and fixed that. He boxed him the way he needed to get the win. And people said, "Oh, some people are saying that he was running." What do you expect him to do? He boxed his way in a smart fight and he got the W. Now that he's come and he fought a good fight, yes, of course he was boxing smarter. And now there's going to be people out there who are going to be saying, "Oh, well, you know, he's still got the ghost, these things going on in his head about Andy Ruiz. He's got to adjust and learn from his mistakes." And I think that's exactly what he did.
And at the end of the day, we got to be honest. I saw a meaningful side to Anthony Joshua. The way Anthony Joshua in the 3rd round, he tried to take Pulev out in the 3rd round. Do you agree, Rope-a-dope?
Listen, AJ was looking for those uppercuts all night. You could see it. He was looking for those uppercuts. Even when he took him out in the 9th, it did actually start from an uppercut. He did have the glove sort of maybe touching his head a little bit, his right hand. From his left hand, maybe there was a glove somewhere there, but he was looking for that uppercut all night. He came with it in the 3rd, and obviously that started the initial onslaught of Pulev in the 3rd round, knocked him down twice. And there's something to be said here. Some people are going, "Well, he should have finished him earlier." Pulev was turning his back to AJ. So there's actually a case that should that fight have been stopped. When a man turns his back to you in the ring and he's like hovering away, that tells me that the man doesn't want to know anymore. When he turns his back to you and almost runs away. So there's a case that maybe it should have been stopped. And there's been a couple of people out there that have also said similar things out there. So first of all, I want to say that about should it have been an early stoppage. But you know what? AJ was coming nice. AJ was coming good. He controlled the ring. He used his jab. He moved around. Yeah, of course he's going to obviously be careful because he's not going to go in making stupid mistakes. He's not going to get into a brawl that he doesn't need to. The only chance that Pulev might have had was to come and try and catch him. And you could see he was trying to launch something on him to try and catch AJ. He attempted that a few times and it didn't work for him. AJ kept him at the end of his jab, kept him at a distance. I think he was moving well. And 9th round, the finish came nicely. He started it off, and the way from the first knockdown, obviously when he got took down by the uppercut, When he came again and Pulev got back up to say after that, there was the feint that he did with the left before he took him out with a right cross, which looked like a right cross to me. Beautiful. It was class the way he finished him off, and the way he walked off, it was like he walked off in style. I think it was a great performance for AJ.
I want to touch on this, Roper-Dope. Let's start from the beginning. The composure of Anthony Joshua, just how he was composed in the ring, and how even when he nearly got Pulev out of there, he still, took his time about it. And what I liked about AJ is that he had that meaningful, those things that we're looking for, hate in his punches. You see what I'm trying to say? He didn't look like he was anywhere mentally affected by being on the back foot. He showed me that he had that killer instinct in him. Anthony Joshua came with an amazing performance, which shows that he's got the killer instinct. He will take you out of there, right? And one thing I liked about Anthony Joshua, his jab. He kept it long. He jabbed to the body. You should see the fight. Like, he consistently jabbed to the body, jabbed to the face, and that took Pulev out of his game plan, right? Anthony Joshua dominated that performance on a consistent basis. There was no, cloud. I think I gave Pulev 1 round in there. Did you? I think I gave Pulev the 8th round because...
Look, I think you're being generous. I didn't even give him the 8th. I think it was a complete shutout in Anthony Joshua's favour. And look, you've got to remember something. As you said, he used that jab nicely. He used it as it's supposed. This is why they call the jab the key punch in boxing, because he used it. He used it to set up his other shots. He used it to keep a distance, and he used it like the ramrod that it is. So, great effort by Anthony Joshua. And I think next fight, and as he goes on the next couple of fights, there's obviously been talk about some other things. I know there's been talks about the Fury fight and what's going on with that. We can obviously touch on that in a little while. But I think it was a good performance from him. Pulev, you could see, tried his best. Brave competitor. He came to fight. You could see that he did not come to lay down. You could see he put everything in it. He said he wanted to do it for his father. He said this time he came more prepared and he's learned from his mistakes. And I think he did. I think there was a good version of him that came this time, probably a better version than the one that fought Klitschko. And he came forward. You could see the will was there. He tried till the very end to try and fight. He didn't show that he was hurt, even when he was getting knocked down, even when he was wobbled, anytime like that. He was smiling. He was trying to show that he isn't hurt and he isn't being affected. But we all know when you're being hit by Anthony Joshua, those shots are going to hurt.
And that's a very, very good point. But I just want to touch on Anthony Joshua's all-round performance. He used even in the clinch. He was smart in the clinch. He was smart inside. Those uppercuts, they started from the 2nd round for me. And just with Anthony Joshua, how he was totally focused, right? Mentally, I love the way I thought Anthony Joshua's mentally performance. He was mentally involved in that fight, focused from the first bell until he got him out of there in the 9th round. And people don't realize this. Pulev has never been stopped apart from Klitschko. This is the only 2nd time he's ever been stopped. And, we were having a lot of problem with the AJ fans the other day. And we told everybody, we believe AJ can stop Pulev. We definitely believe AJ can knock Pulev out. And we were getting a lot of shit for that, weren't we, Roper-Dope? And it's not that we were trying to discredit AJ. We just want AJ to be known for what he can bring into the game. This is an amazing momentum for AJ to win like this in dominant fashion, to knock a man like Pulev out. Pulev couldn't even get up after 10 seconds. He didn't want to get up anymore. He destroyed Pulev's soul in that ring, bro. Right? And now AJ and Tyson Fury momentum is way bigger because of the performance AJ gave against Pulev. Do you agree with that, Roper-Dope?
Look, I definitely agree with that. This is something obviously we were talking about, and this is a point. I mean, we were getting a lot of people who weren't happy about what we were saying, and this is exactly all we were trying to say. is that this is what we expected off of AJ. AJ is a big puncher, guys. And this is what we were saying. The guy's got like an 85% KO ratio on his record. Why wouldn't you expect a knockout from him? And people were saying that Pulev was durable and that, you know, because they didn't want to put AJ under pressure. And I was saying that, look, you know, this is the heavyweight champion of the world, unified. And you've got to have a bit more faith in him. You've got to look at his record. We can't get emotionally involved when we're looking at something like this. And in our position, we certainly can't, because obviously we're sitting there breaking the fight down, and we can't sit there being favourable towards the fighter. And just, yes, of course, we can support fighters. I know we obviously have love for AJ because he's from the UK and we're from the UK. So, you know, he's our guy. But the bottom line is you have to be real, and you've got to tell how it is. Whenever I'm talking about any of this, I'll try not to get emotionally involved with any of it. And that's at times not easy to do. But we've got to be real. And this is what I'm saying, that Pulev, of course, he's a durable puncher, but we were saying that look what his competition has been and who he's fought. The only real main big man that he's fought is Klitschko, and he's fought a very durable Derek Chisora. And then he's fought, I believe, Max Skelton, and he fought Michael Sprott. But come on, man, you can't compare those guys to AJ. AJ is a different animal. He's big, he's strong, he's got destructive power. And this is exactly what we were saying, that I had faith, as did D. Jefferson and yourself, that we said that, look, man, AJ, have some faith in AJ here. But the thing is, I think what people were worried about, oh, we're putting too much pressure on AJ, and that if it does go to 12 rounds, it's going to be a case of, oh, now we're disappointed about what's happening, and, you know, we're going to start giving hate to AJ. And we wouldn't have given hate to AJ. We just expect more from him because we feel he's up to it. We're not trying to put pressure on AJ because we're just trying to be hard on him. We think that much of him, and that's where things were getting twisted. There's some people were taking it as hate, and it wasn't hate. We just think that much more of AJ to say that we believe it was just going to be a stoppage, and I'm glad that it was.
Yeah, I'm really glad that the outcome of the fight came exactly what we wanted. AJ knocking out Pulev in the 9th round and, you know, giving such a dominant performance. And I got to tell you, I'm hyped up for 2021. I want the Fury and AJ fight, rope-a-dope. I want Tyson, Fury, Anthony Joshua for all the marbles, for all the metal, in one of the biggest stadiums that we've got in Wembley. I know we can host over 90,000 people in there, can't we? Right? If we can get the country to come back to a little bit of the new normal, we know the vaccines are coming out. Maybe, you know, there could be a big crowd for this fight in 2021. But before I get to the Tyson Fury fight with Anthony Joshua, did you see the love Floyd Money Mayweather came to London? Floyd Money Mayweather was at ringside to, you know what I mean, cheer on his brethren, Anthony Joshua. How come Anthony Joshua and Floyd Mayweather have such a close relationship? I never see Floyd Mayweather going to people's fights and cheering them on like he did for Anthony Joshua. Did you see that last night, Roberto?
I did see that, and we obviously saw the clip that they showed when Mayweather was coming into the building. We all know Mayweather is usually there for his own fighters. I've seen him there for Tank Davis. I've seen him there for the other guy that he had. I've forgotten his name right now, but he's got another guy that he has, which, and some of his other shows, and that Mayweather is there. But I've seen him on video calls with AJ, so we've known there's been some contact there. There's been video calls of them that have been online that we've seen. They've also, so let me just come back to something. There was a photo shoot or like a photo opportunity sort of night in the UK. And there was one that Mayweather did on his own. And that's the one that I was at, which is where I met him. And then there was another time when he actually did a joint one with AJ. So where the first one, Mayweather came on his own and he was just getting pictures by himself with people. That one was on his own. But the second one, it was like, if you got a picture on that one, you would have got the picture with AJ and Mayweather together. And you could see, I mean, you know, they took probably hundreds of pictures together with lots of people. So obviously, I'm sure they probably hung out then as well in London. They spent time together, and you know, and they, you know, when you're taking that many pictures together, you're obviously going to be speaking to someone more. And you know, that doesn't include all the time they've probably spoken on the phone and everything. So they know each other, and they're friends. And just because Mayweather's from the US and AJ's from the UK, that doesn't mean they can't be friends. I don't see there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I think Floyd Mayweather and Anthony Joshua got their own relationship. Deontay Wilder and Floyd Mayweather are not as close as Anthony Joshua and Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? And just to see Anthony Joshua leave the ring and give some love to Money Mayweather, it seems like them two have got a connection going on. And like you said, they got their own friendship, and that's down to them. You know what I mean? At the end of the day,
I just want to address Rapstar. I'm obviously looking at some of the comments coming in.
Go ahead, mate.
And some of your guys who are coming into the comments, they're saying Fury would have embarrassed Pulev. I think he probably would have. There's people saying that AJ was pretty much for 9 rounds playing it safe. Look, you have to remember something. AJ is someone who is learning on the job. And I think he's done very well in the career that he's had. He's not had a huge amateur background. And he's someone who's learning on the job. Tyson Fury's obviously comes from a fighting family. He's obviously done exceptionally well. But don't forget, Tyson Fury has been knocked down as well by Deontay Wilder quite viciously. A lot of people wouldn't have got up from that. So, there may be flaws over there. So the second fight, to Fury's credit, you would have expected him to really be trying to be wary about that, but he took the experience of what happened at the end of the first fight, that when he actually started taking it to Wilder, he was successful with it. So what did he do straight away? He obviously went straight to the Kronk gym, and he took that aggressive style, that Emmanuel Stewart's legacy that was used with people like Tommy Hearns, and he brought that in, and he just went into Wilder for that fight. Now, you've got to remember something. After the experience that AJ's just had, with the loss that he's had, is something that he's learned from. He knows that he was careless from it. He said he's learning all the time, as most boxers are. So I think he's good. He's learning. To be honest, there's been talk now recently that we're seeing, and that is, it seems like Fury, I think, is going to have to fight Wilder. I think that's the rumor that is out there at the moment, the news and that may be out there. I don't know how authentic it is. I don't know if it's from an old clip or what's going on, but I haven't really looked, to be honest, that much. But from what I could see, it looks like Fury needs to fight Wilder first. And once he's fought Wilder, then he's okay to fight AJ. So it looks like that's what the route it's going to have. And I believe Eddie Hearn has already said that if Fury isn't the fight that we have next, then we'd be 100% fighting Usyk. And they'll honour the WBO mandatory position. So that is the route I think it's going to end up going, where we're going to see an AJ versus Usyk fight, and we'll see Tyson versus Wilder. And hopefully they both come through it. And towards the end of the year, I think we'll be looking at seeing Fury and AJ together, providing they're able to come through the fights.
Yeah, I don't like what you said, Roberto. At the end of the day, I don't want Deontay Wilder to fuck up or gate crash this huge event. This huge boxing historic event which we can put together, which will be Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua in 2021. If you ask majority fans, even in America today, I don't think they really are pushing for the trilogy. The only people who want the trilogy are the Wilder fans. And you look at a lot of the boxing fraternity around the world, they want Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, especially after that performance with Anthony Joshua. Because look, I love Anthony Joshua. He comes from my ends, brethren. You know what I mean? He's from London, bruv. But I'm going to keep it real on Rapstar Boxing. I'm just going to keep it real. I think Tyson Fury is an all-round much better boxer than Anthony Joshua. I think Tyson Fury has such great footwork and ring IQ. I think he will make AJ really tired in that boxing ring. Whether it's mentally or physically, it's very hard to keep up with Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury and AJ is looked upon like a 50-50 fight. But if you talk to the hardcore fraternities, they know that Tyson Fury is way more gifted than Anthony Joshua. You're right? So this fight with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, it's a huge fight. It's one of the biggest fights for us, not just us in England, Roper. We're talking about around the world. AJ versus Tyson Fury is probably the biggest fight in boxing today, up to date. Tell me a bigger fight than that, Roper.
No, it's a huge fight. It's going to be huge. It's probably, I mean, this will be, I mean, if we saw Klitschko AJ fight, and remember I mentioned to you, I was at that fight, 100,000 people. It was a crazy atmosphere. The only other fight that I've seen that gave me goosebumps when I walked in there, it was the Tyson Holyfield 2 fight. That second fight with Holyfield that Tyson had, which had the ear-biting incident. That's the only other fight that I was at that I felt it was an electric atmosphere the moment you walked into that at the MGM Grand in Vegas, going back, I believe it was in 1997. So, you know, the biggest fight I've seen other than that was this AJ and Klitschko fight. So seeing an AJ Fury, it's going to be a monster. It will be an absolute monster. And look, let's call a spade a spade. The bottom line is the way I think everyone sees it, because it's quite visible to the eye. Fury looks like he'll have the advantage here. Fury just looks like what we see with Fury. It just doesn't even make sense when you see a man of that size, of that weight, to move the way he does. It's just not natural to see something like that. So I love watching Fury. I'm a fan of him, and to be honest, I mean, I've always said from the beginning, this is before they were coming up because I've got friends and people around me that we talk, and while everyone was looking at AJ and some of these other fighters and saying, well, AJ, etc., and they were talking about his big, his muscles and he's strong, etc. I said to a lot of these people then that Fury's the best of the bunch. And some of these people are giving me weird looks. The thing is, Fury can be deceiving. Because Fury acts like a clown sometimes, people look at him and think he's an idiot. But just because someone clowns, it doesn't mean they can't fight. And Fury can fight. Fury, the way it was a boxing masterclass what he did with Deontay Wilder in that second fight. And just absolutely amazing to watch. The way he's come back from that weight gain and everything that he had and that depression that he went through, the way he's come back and he's talked about it. I saw him talking about it on the Joe Rogan show. He had suicidal thoughts from what I remember he was saying. And to make a comeback like that, he's like a man reborn. We know he's a religious man. He's obviously takes his faith very seriously, and he just seemed reborn. And he looks like he's just in love with boxing again. There was a time he was saying that I didn't care about anything, and it's just great to see him like that. And I have to say, anyone who's standing there and saying, well, you know, AJ will do it. Look, AJ's strong. AJ's more technical than a Deontay Wilder. And I think the longer this fight takes to make, the better AJ's going to get. So for at least the Fury camp, even though they'll still be confident, even if it happened next year, the year after in 2022, I still think the Fury camp will be, you know, very confident about them having a win over AJ. I think they're going to feel they have his number, but AJ's going to get better. We're going to see AJ keep on getting better. So the further along it goes, it's going to be a tougher job for Fury. But right now, it looks like if we saw the bookies, I'm pretty sure the bookies are going to be having Tyson Fury as the favourite.
I actually think we're being really, we're in the hype train. I want to just get to reality now. And the reason why I want to get to reality, yesterday I had a really great night. I had we had a few pints. I watched AJ's fight and I was really appreciated of AJ's performance. I love to see his dominant performance, those meaningful, hateful punches. And I saw AJ going in with 3-4 punch combinations, right? And that really made me happy to see AJ's got his confidence and he's fighting this fight on the front foot. You know what I mean? He was totally dominating Pulev. But I got to be honest, that was yesterday. I was in the hype train. Coming today, it's not a 50-50 fight. I'm a hardcore boxing fan. AJ versus Tyson Fury is not a 50-50 fight, Roper. If you look at it and you want to talk about skills and you talk about fighters and you look at everybody's attributes, Tyson Fury is a clear favorite in that fight against AJ. Tyson Fury is more of a 60-40 fight if you want to talk about levels of skill. The only way that I can say 50-50 is through the purse bids and the money situation, and if you want to talk about the pay-per-view numbers. But if you want to talk about skill for skill, I'm definitely going with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is a fighter to me that I think can take AJ's will and mentally deal with him in that ring. And I think Tyson Fury will be probably the boogeyman for Anthony Joshua. I think Tyson Fury will probably stop Anthony Joshua. Now, I'm a big AJ fan, but if I really break it down and I'm going to put a lot of money on the fight, I'm going with Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury beats Anthony Joshua to pillar to post after the 6th round. I think Tyson Fury might stop Anthony Joshua. Do you wanna come back with something on that, Rope-a-Dope, with my statement?
Look, I'm gonna have to say I think I agree. I think AJ will get stopped. Tyson Fury is just too quick. The way Tyson Fury moves in the ring, the way he can move away, you can see his skills, the way he moved about. You can see AJ is still learning his craft. And the way Fury moves, Fury looks like a seasoned fighter. Someone who's moving, he's bobbing, he's weaving. Did you see? And I'm going to have to state this, especially because of my name. What fight was it that we saw recently of Fury? I think it may have been the first Wilder fight, or which fight it was. It was one of the fights that he's had recently where he did the rope-a-dope. Did you see? I think it may have been a couple of fights before that. But Fury did the rope-a-dope. And, oh, come on, man. When you can sit there and do that, you're not just sitting there trying to like say, right, okay, I'm trying to keep my distance. I'm really trying to concentrate on the job that I'm doing. Can you imagine AJ standing against the ropes, doing the rope-a-dope and making someone miss like that? Can you see AJ doing that? I can't see him doing that, but maybe he.
Hey, you know what? I want to get to some of these people. They're making amazing comments. We got Jeff Lucita in the house. We got J Blues Radio. We got Combat Ethics. We got Yak Face. We've got Bruce Goes in the building, right? Now, Jeff Lucita made a very good point. Something as simple as Tyson Fury's feints, and you made that really good point the other day. Did you see how Tyson Fury, just his feints, what it did to Deontay Wilder? Did you see how Tyson Fury actually dealt with Wilder through just his movement and his feints? He was just totally like, every time Tyson Fury fainted, Deontay Wilder couldn't deal with it. And you guys have got to understand something. We really love AJ. I mean, I'm on the AJ hype train a little bit yesterday night. But if you want to talk about the fight with AJ and Tyson Fury, wow, I think Tyson Fury dominates AJ. And the reason why I say he dominates him, Rope-a-Dope, you got to appreciate Tyson Fury can adapt to any style. Now, can Anthony Joshua adapt to Tyson Fury's style? Touch on that, Rope-a-Dope.
Look, first of all, you've got to look at something. How do you stop if the Tyson Fury comes out, the one that came out for Wilder? Tyson Fury is what, about 250 pounds? To AJ's, what was AJ? What did AJ weigh in at? About 222? I think he weighed in at.
No, AJ weighed in yesterday at 239, isn't it?
No.
Let me go check. Yeah, I remember AJ Pulev weighed in at over 240, didn't he?
No. Pulev, I think, came in at about 228, and I think AJ came in at about 222.
I have to check. Oh, I'm talking about the day they got into the fight, maybe.
No, I'm talking about their weigh-in. Their weigh-in. On their weigh-in, I'm pretty sure AJ was around 222. I think Pulev came in at about 228. That's the kind of weights I think they were. If anyone in the chat can confirm, but that's where we were. But anyway, going back to what we're talking about, Fury's 254. If Fury came marching down AJ was obviously staying back, keeping back Pulev. If Fury came marching onto AJ, yes, AJ's got a good jab and he can. Will he be able to keep Fury off, who's 30 pounds heavier than him? Is he 30 pounds? Yes. Well, maybe 25 or 25 pounds heavier than him.
I don't know. Fury came in 25 pounds, 30 pounds heavier than Wilder, right?
Yeah, but Fury, I think usually he's around 240, 250 pounds. AJ came in at about 222. So give or take, there's about a 20, 30 pound weight difference between the two. So first of all, Fury's got that advantage on him. On top of that, I think he's got a couple of inch or maybe a 2 to 3 inch height advantage over AJ. I'm not sure. What's their reach?
So if I'm not mistaken, Tyson Fury is 6'8.5", 6'9", and Anthony Joshua is 6'6". Is that correct? Yeah. Anthony Joshua is 6'6", and Tyson Fury is 6'8.5".
So we're looking at a 3-inch height advantage for Fury. I think AJ's got about an 82-inch reach, and Tyson Fury's got an 85-inch reach. So we're looking at about 3-inch reach advantage. Man, Tyson Fury to have a reach advantage over you of 3 inches with the boxer that he is, with his size, with his height, with his weight. I mean, if he's going to come marching onto you and not give you any room to hold that jab and just put his weight on you and weigh you down and tie you down. I mean, AJ looked lean and he looked slender yesterday and he's looking fit and he looked like he could have comfortably done 12 rounds. But he hasn't got a 254-pound man holding on to him and leaning on him and pulling him down and doing that, which is going to gas you. And, you know, we've seen AJ, you know, look tired in the past. And the thing is, when a Tyson Fury is coming at you like that and weighing you down and tiring you out, and then on top of that, with the speed that he's got, did you see that fight that he had in New York? I've forgotten who it was with, where he came in. And I know the opponent wasn't of the highest quality, but he came in with a super fast 1-2 and just dropped the guy. I mean, it was such a good
Shorts. What was his name?
Shorts. It may have been Shorts, but he just did a quick, fast 1-2. And we know AJ can throw that as well. That's how he ended the fight. But he ended the fight against a real worn-out Pulev who was already ready to be taken out. But the way he did it, I still want to give AJ a lot of credit for the way that he did that. It looked like he fainted with the left and took him out with a right cross. But when Fury did it to, I believe, Schultz, that guy they did it to, that guy wasn't buzzed. That guy was still standing there. It was just a quick punch. And, you know, is AJ going to be able to stay away from that? Look, you know, there's no hate for AJ. Remember, we're trying to be, you know, we're trying to show no bias here. We're just telling it as it is. But, you know, look, if AJ comes back and performs and wins, look, I'll be super happy for the guy. You know, I'll be really happy for him. You know, either way, you know, if it's him and Fury, we'd have a unified, undisputed champion in the UK. And I'd be super happy about that, just to have those belts all in the UK. So obviously they've got work to do. We can obviously look at those later, but, you know, there's work to do. Deontay Wilder, it looks like that's the fight that Fury wants to probably go and finish the business, because Deontay Wilder's, you know, been making a lot of noise about it. I think he threatened to go to court. So maybe that fight needs to be made. And, you know, and from the inklings that we're getting, it doesn't look like Usyk's looking to step aside. What a fucking party pooper he is. That he doesn't want to step aside. He's the WBO mandatory. So, you know what? Maybe it's a fight to get out of the way. It's going to be another good fight for AJ, because, you know, Usyk's very experienced. He obviously cleaned up the cruiserweight division. So
man, I don't want to see Usyk and Joshua. I don't want you to start hyping that fight up, bro.
Bro, it's not hyping
the Anthony Joshua Usyk is only going to happen because of mandatory, right?
Well, that's exactly what
Usyk
it is.
A mandatory for one of the belts.
The WBO are
Go ahead, bro.
on it. The WBO are insisting on it, and that's the problem that we have. That they're insisting on that fight. Or otherwise there may be a case of, you know, being forced to vacate it. I don't know what move they'll make, but, you know, Eddie Hearn has already said that if it's not Fury, will 100% be fighting Usyk. Eddie Hearn's already said that. So if this Fury fight is not going ahead, which I don't think it is for the next fight, I think he's looking to fight Wilder again. So if it is the case of him fighting Usyk, it looks like that's what's going to have to happen. And it's only going to be better for AJ, because in my opinion, AJ needs better preparation. AJ needs to have, you know, another fight at least before he takes on the Fury. And I'm saying that because I think that will help AJ.
Well, I just want to say this. Tyson Fury can easily prepare for AJ, but I don't think AJ can easily prepare for a Tyson Fury. It's not easy to get somebody to replicate Tyson Fury in the ring when you're sparring, when you're gradually coming to a fight with a 6'9" guy who's been gifted with these natural God-blessed talents. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Tyson Fury can easily get people who can imitate Anthony Joshua, but Anthony Joshua couldn't get people to imitate Tyson Fury. To me, I appreciate you bringing out the Usyk situation. I think Usyk and Anthony Joshua will probably happen before Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. And I think Tyson Fury might put all the Wilder conspiracy theories and all the Wilder claims to bed and, you know, beat Wilder again in a trilogy. But I think really and truly, they could give Wilder step-aside money, right? Wilder can go ahead and fight a big fight with Andy Ruiz in America and rebuild himself and start to get back to rebuild Wilder again. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury could probably pay Usyk some step-aside money to rebuild. No, I mean, Usyk can just get step-aside money to go and fight somebody else. And then these two can get the undisputed fight going on in 2021 in front of 90,000 fans in Wembley. Now, do you think that's possible, Roper-Dope? Could they pay step-aside money for these athletes so that these two can have an undisputed match?
Look, can't really say. I mean, the WBO are insisting that Usyk gets this fight. And obviously, they've already been talking about putting a fight together. I saw a video of Fury where he, I think, is already saying that he's going to be fighting Deontay Wilder next. Whether that's an old video or not, I don't know. But I received a video or not. I'm not sure if anyone can confirm this. But it looks like Tyson Fury has put a video out there saying that he'll be fighting Deontay Wilder next. But he said the deal is done. How the deal can be done so quick, I don't know. They said they're going to start, getting into negotiations from tomorrow. So how the negotiations have already been done, I'm not sure. I think it may have been an old video. I'm not sure, but there has been a video out there circulating with some speculation of that sort. But I don't really see this happening as the next fight, I have to say, if it's me. If I have to say, I can't see this fight. And to be honest, I think it will probably be better for AJ if he manages to have another fight in between. He just needs to come through it because we're quite confident if Fury goes ahead with another fight, he'll probably come through it. People are now going to expect Fury to beat Wilder. That's going to be the expectation. He's going to walk in as a favourite. Obviously, when he first... I believe he was the underdog in the first fight against them, and I think in the second fight he came in as the underdog again. I'll eat my hat.
Okay, everybody in the chat wants you to tell me how does Anthony Joshua beat an athlete which is so gifted, like a 6'9" Tyson Fury? How does Anthony Joshua beat Tyson Fury? Let's go to that then.
Look, if you want to look at how AJ can come across, the one thing AJ's got, he's got good technical ability compared to a Wilder. So it's not going to be as simple as like the way you're able to just land shots clean on Wilder, the way Fury was able to do on Wilder. I'm sure he'll still be able to get to AJ. I just don't think it will be as easy as it was to get to the same as how it was to get to Wilder. AJ's obviously got power, and that's going to be, the thing that helps him out. He's got a bit more technical ability, and he'll maybe be able to avoid some of the punches that Wilder wasn't able to avoid. And on top of that, again, the power that he's got power in both hands. He's got a good uppercut. If Fury comes marching into him and gets one of those uppercuts, I mean, it was a case that, when Fury went down in the Wilder fight, shortly after, I think the round ended, and he was able to walk out. I mean, what round was it that uppercut happened in? I think it was the 11th round, wasn't it, in that first fight? I think he went down in the 11th round.
Who?
So, Fury in
against
first
Wilder?
fight with Wilder. Yeah.
I don't know, the first knockdown you mean?
The one where he took the heavy knockdown, where he got up like he was the Undertaker. But
that was the last round. That was the last 12th round.
Okay. So the thing is, Fury obviously got knocked down brutally with that, but he got back up. And so we know he can take a punch. So the thing is, AJ can throw combinations. We've seen him; he can throw combinations. So maybe there's something there for him. That if he obviously puts out a combination, he's also going to have to contend with a jab. I mean, I know Wilder's got a 1-2, but I mean, Fury knew that. Fury knew this is the only thing that I've got to look out for. And what he did is he just didn't give him the room. My fear for AJ in this fight is Tyson Fury be walking in, moving around, and at the same time marching him down. And then when he obviously comes on him, he'll be putting that weight on him, and it's going to end up being a stamina issue. I think we'll see AJ get tired. I hope he proves us wrong. I hope he's got it in him to obviously make it more of a competitive fight. But it'll be interesting.
But can't you? Let me just make it exciting. I want to make this exciting. I want to give AJ a bit more props. Do you think AJ can break Tyson Fury down by going through the body to the head? Do you think AJ can get in the inside and hurt Fury? I mean, my thing is this. The only way I can see AJ beating Tyson Fury is by knocking Tyson Fury out cold. I can't see any other way Anthony Joshua can beat a Tyson Fury. The only way I can see it is if he hurts Tyson Fury and then goes in for a combination and, totally knock him cold out. I don't see any other way of Anthony Joshua beating a skillful heavyweight in our generation at 6'9", like Emmanuel Stewart told everybody in the world that this athlete, Tyson Fury, has attributes that nobody could deal with as a heavyweight. He's not only big, he leans on you, he knows how to move, he uses that ring IQ perfectly. And let's not forget, if you think you're going to deal with Tyson Fury coming at him, he's got answers for you. So the only way I give AJ a chance to beat Tyson Fury is by a knockout. What do you think about that, Roberto?
I agree. I can't see AJ outboxing him. The only thing I can see is if when Fury's coming into him, where AJ's able to... Look, AJ's going to have to obviously learn a few tricks. And when Fury's coming in, maybe move side to side. I mean, you can see AJ has got some movement in him. He's not exactly completely stiff. But what I'm saying is, on the way in, if Fury's got to be careful as well. Fury just can't come marching in. Because, if he just comes marching in and thinking, oh, right, I'm just going to come in and start punching at him and work on his body, you can get caught on the way in. We've seen him get caught against Wilder. And, Joshua's got a real huge punch on him as well. And, as they say, this is heavyweight boxing. One punch can change the whole story. So, and AJ has got it in him. We've seen him knock people out before with quick combination. We've seen him just with a jab put people down. So he's got the power. And you know what? Anyway, I mean, we know so far we've seen Fury get up and he's managed to, absorb any punishment pretty much that's been dished to him. But the thing is, there's always a first time. There's always the possibility of a first time. And if AJ puts the one on him and Fury doesn't see it coming, which I don't expect, because I think Fury will take it seriously. Even though he's talking a lot and calling them a bum, I think there is going to be some respect there. Fury won't go in just disrespecting him completely. He may obviously go in there and showboat a little bit, but I think he'll give him a bit more respect. He does see that AJ does have some boxing technique and he does have some skill. He's not just a big puncher with a great 1-2 like Wilder.
Yeah, but if I was AJ's camp and I was Anthony Joshua's management and his team, Tyson Fury has come up a momentum with the Kronk's gym of knocking Wilder out, correct? So he thinks he can knock Anthony Joshua out. Tyson Fury thinks he can dominantly perform and knock out Anthony Joshua. Now, come with that energy, right? But that's better for Anthony Joshua. Because if I was Anthony Joshua's team, his management, his people, I would train him to try and knock Tyson Fury out when Tyson Fury thinks he's on that point where he wants to, attack you. Anthony Joshua needs to be able to be ready to counterpunch Tyson Fury and hurt him meaningfully. Did you see the 4 or 5 punch combination yesterday by Anthony Joshua, Robidoux?
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying, that AJ can throw combinations, But what I'm saying is when he's training for a Fury, he's going to have to get some great sparring in Where you're going to find a 6'9", 250-pound heavyweight, I don't know. I don't know how many of them are around, walking around, that you can bring into camp to try and, get your distance right and work with, and ones that move the way Fury does. So when AJ goes in with Fury, he wouldn't have seen anyone like that. He's never been in with anyone like that. Even if you get the sparring in, and you might, bring some Russian in, some unknown Russian who might be 6'9", 7 foot tall, and you bring him in, and he might be big and heavy, and AJ starts working with him, they're not going to be able to move the way Fury does. So AJ's going to have to make adjustments when he's in the ring. And this is what I'm saying, that the more experience he gets, I think it will be better for AJ. So if he does have a fight in between where he's able to shake off any of that, as Teddy Atlas says, that the ghosts of Ruiz are still up in the attic. If that is the case, this gives him a chance just to brush them off even a bit more. I think it's good. I think he looks like he's learned. I think he's definitely a more smarter, a more thinking fighter. Even when Pulev came and really tried to throw the kitchen sink at him, AJ didn't get involved. AJ was sensible. AJ boxed a smart fight. He didn't rush. He wasn't rushing. He waited for his opening. He could have really gone into him in the third round the way he did. But obviously, when it didn't come, he could have really gone after him again in the fourth. But, he kept on. He took his time. He waited for his opportunity to come through. And in the ninth round, he did what he needed to do and took Pulev out. So we know AJ's got that in him. I just think that when he does come up against Fury, he will have to make adjustments on the night, because I just don't think we're going to be able to see a sparring partner come in that you're going to find who is like a Fury. So AJ's going to have to adapt. He's going to have to adapt on that very night once he comes up to him. But I'd like to give AJ some credit as well. He throws combination. He's got some work on him. It's not going to be. I don't think it will be a complete walkover or a first round knockout. I think AJ has got some tools, and hopefully he can work with them some more. He's had some new additions in his camp, and maybe they'll work to improve him as well. These trainers, they know what they're doing. They'll be watching Fury, and they'll be seeing what he does, what his weaknesses are, if there's any that they can find, and they'll try and work on that. They know what they're going to know. It's quite obvious to see what Fury's advantages are. He's got the height on you. He's got the reach in you. So when you've got that kind of a thing, I think they're going to try and keep AJ moving, because they're not going to want Tyson Fury to come and be allowed to put his weight on him. So they're going to want AJ to be moving about and giving angles and try and be a bit smart.
I need to introduce another guy, Dope, before I answer that to you. Who's in the building? And introduce yourself, my brother. I see Jay Blues in the building. What's up, bro?
Yo, what up? What up?
Hey, man. How you doing, Jay Blues? How you feeling out there?
Good, man. Good. How y'all doing, man?
Man, we're excited about the fight that we're trying to marinate for Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Jay Blues, how do you think of the performance with Anthony Joshua yesterday night, bro?
I mean, I can't speak from nobody else's perspective. All I can do is speak on what I saw. And, man, what I saw was AJ got pushed back, put on the back foot, hesitant as fuck, nervous by an old, pretty much has been, never was been. He wasn't never champion, right? Pulev, he's just a contender. And didn't fire on him until the third round. And what happened as soon as he fired on him? He hurt him and then seemed to almost gas out. It was weird as shit, man. From the fourth round until the ninth round when he stopped him, he had a dead man in front of him, and he didn't really do much. Like you say he waited to set it up or took his time or whatever, but dude, he was flat-footed and huffing and puffing in the fifth and sixth. It looked like the first Ruiz fight all over again, man. Like he was fainting.
So you wasn't impressed? I like you to be
at
real.
all, man. At all.
Jay Blues.
I'm not trolling.
We're from England. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm not trolling. I'm not trying to shit on AJ. I'm just being honest, man. Like, he's a very good puncher. That's about it. When he steps to you and starts throwing those wild combinations with the uppercuts and hook, yeah, he's gonna destroy some shit. Maybe. Pulev seemed to take a few of those flurries and just smile at him. Like he blocked all that shit. I don't know, man.
So let me
I'm
just
not
tell you,
impressed.
Pulev was an interim champion, and Pulev's
Okay.
only time that he ever been stopped against is against Klitschko, and he's been winning a lot of fights after the Klitschko win. Hey, you've got 100%. You've got your own views. You're entitled to what you think, and for sure, if you're not impressed with AJ, then for sure. I mean, is it because you think AJ needed to do more in that fight with a 39-year-old Pulev? Is that what you're saying?
It's not even the fact that he's an old man, right? It's the fact that he didn't take a back step for the first 3 rounds, and AJ couldn't get off properly, and he took 2.5 rounds to adjust. Fury would have been holding his ass, dude. Fury would have been hitting him in the midst of pushing him back. Like, Joshua would not been able to get a breath, and I see him being exhausted by the 4th or 5th round, just from the feints, just from the constant pressure, from the constant not knowing when to tense up and be loose. Like, he's gonna hold his breath fighting Fury. He's gonna drown, man. In my mind, like, I don't see him doing that well against Fury, man. He's got to step to somebody and launch his punches. Like, AJ's not a back foot fighter. He's not some dude that can fight backing up and throw slick counters, dude.
So you just think that that style that AJ's got is all wrong for Tyson Fury?
That, and like Robodope said, man, he's still learning, right? He's learning on the job. And I heard somebody say the other day, it might even have been Robodope, he's not a natural fighting man like Tyson. Tyson is born from his mother to do this.
That
shit.
was me. And that was actually Robodope. Yeah, that was Robodope. He was explaining to everybody how Tyson Fury's generation of people are fighting for when they're kids. Yeah, go ahead.
Like, there's a difference between a born fighter and a person who takes it up as an athletic profession, or as a hobby or whatever, man, an endeavor, a passion. Like, there's a level that Tyson is willing to go to that he can do in his sleep, and AJ is going to have to push himself to get there. Like, this is worlds apart, man.
So if I just want to jump in, Jay, my man, hope you're well, dude.
Yeah.
I just want to come with something. Jay, considering, I mean, it looks like you're on the same page as what me and Rapstar are saying. We would be favouring Fury if this fight was to come off, which we're hoping will be coming in 2021. So, looking at what works good for AJ, considering he's had over a year's layoff and coming into this fight. My thing yesterday, I was on here with Rapstar and D Jefferson just recently, and we were chopping this up. And I was saying that it would be good for AJ to get some rounds in. Coming in with a first round KO does nothing for AJ. You know, you have a 2-3 month camp. You walk in with a first round KO after a year layoff. I don't think that does anything for him. So I think coming in and not going at him straight away in the first, second round, just to feel him out and take his time. I think this is one of the best preparations that AJ could have had if he's to have any chance against the Fury. I think he needed to bag these rounds. So I think for AJ, this was probably the best thing that he could have had. He knocked him out, which obviously gives him some confidence that he's back. And at the same time, he got some good rounds in. And, you know, working on his stamina and building up that durability. So whenever he does come across a Fury or any other fighter that going forward, you know, we know he'll be going into at least the 8th or 9th round strong and not gassing out at 4 or 5.
Facts, man. I can agree with that. I can agree with all that, man.
But you can't also, you got to also take in account, Robodope. Some people, they've seen Tyson Fury and how he can operate. They just don't think Anthony Joshua brings that much to the table. And they don't think Anthony Joshua's ring IQ and mentally, he's not ready for Tyson Fury.
Look, I know that.
Let me just speak. Can I just speak, bro? I also agree with Blues. That I reckon, if you really look at it today, Tyson Fury is ahead of Anthony Joshua in skills, in mental approach, in ring IQ. It's going to be very hard for Anthony Joshua to prepare for Tyson Fury. And I actually think it's easy for Tyson Fury to prepare for Anthony Joshua. I don't know. I don't know if Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua are confident in that fight. I don't think that. I don't know. I think Tyson Fury is a big threat for every heavyweight for the next 2 years. What do you think about that, Robert?
Look, I think deep down everybody knows that, and you know we're looking at here. Look, either people can just say, look, it's a foregone conclusion, and pretty much, like I said, the bookies, I'm sure, I'll eat my hat if they don't put Tyson Fury as the favourite. And anyhow they put AJ as a favourite, believe me, I'll be putting a huge bet on. But I'll tell you something. Here's the thing.
Okay, let's just stop here. Somebody sent me a message. I want to ask you this: who's got a better resume, Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury, Roper-Dub? And then we go to Blues. Who's got the more refined resume on their record right now as an experienced fighter? Is it AJ or is it Tyson Fury, Roper-Dub?
Look, I'm sorry. You know, I know AJ's got some decent names on his record, but I'm gonna have to go Fury, and I'll tell you why. Because Fury is the one who put the blueprint out how to beat Klitschko. AJ really came to real big, like where people really said he is something. It was a beautiful fight. I was at that fight with the Klitschko, but Fury did it first. Fury beat Klitschko first. Okay, it might not have been in the kind of devastating fashion that AJ did it at, but what I'm saying is still he laid the blueprint out there, and he was the first one to knock Klitschko off his throne. And now he's gone and destroyed who people were saying was the most devastating puncher in heavyweight history. The first fight was a draw. A lot of people said Tyson won that. But, you know, we'll go with it as if it was a draw because that's what the judges called it. Second fight, it was a convincing win. So, you know, now that Tyson Fury's had that fight, you know, who are you going to favour? Even if AJ's had a couple of other good opponents, are you going to put them above Deontay Wilder?
I mean, Anthony Joshua's got a lot of names on his resume. Anthony Joshua got a lot of names in the top 5. You talk about Joseph Parker when he was unbeaten, Dylan White when he was unbeaten. You're talking about Brazil. You're talking about these guys were all unbeaten, right? Anthony Joshua's the one who beat them. And then you got the Andy Ruiz's, the comebacks, and there's so many other names he's got. Tyson Fury got 2 big names. But the way Tyson Fury got those names, Blues, is that he went to their country and took it off of them. Go ahead, Blues.
This is why boxing math and MMA math don't really add up. This guy on paper should destroy this guy on paper. Look at his accomplishments. Look how huge he looks and reads when you fucking look at the paper. Of course he's going to destroy this other dude. But when they actually match up, then you see the true variables kick in. And you see where everything matches up. And you go, oh, that's a horrible matchup for that dude. Like, you don't know until it's about to play out. Like, he might look great on paper. And Anthony Joshua does. He stacks up way bigger than Fury. Like you were saying, all those undefeated guys, man. Hello?
Yeah, dude. You've also got to look at, you know, the fighters that have come. Fury has had some time out as well. I'm sure if he was active, we would have probably seen some better names. But just after he beat Klitschko, which is when he should have been fighting some of those bigger names, he had time out. So you've also got to take that into account.
Yeah, he took about 2 years out. Was Tyson Fury out of the game for 2 years?
Yeah, man. So
all that mental breakdown, the drugs, the rehabilitation, he took 2 years out of the game, right? And I think that's where
it was like 2.5. It was like 2.5 years. It was like 2.5 years. He had his fight with Klitschko in November of 2015, and his next fight after that was in June 2018. So it was like a 2.5 year, you know, timeout that he took. So you've got to take that into consideration, that the time that he took out, and when he did come back, like 2 fights after the Vladimir Klitschko. So after his comeback, he had 2 fights. I'm just looking at his record now. So he fought Safari, who only had 1 loss on his record. He fought Pianeta. Okay, he never had the greatest records. He had 4 losses on his record out of what looks like 40 fights. But then he went straight on to Deontay Wilder, who had 40 wins, no losses, with obviously a lot of knockouts. Then he fought Tom Schwartz, who had 24 fights, no losses. Then he fought Otto Wallin, again, 20 fights, no losses. And then he fought Deontay Wilder again. So after he came back from Vladimir Klitschko, He had a couple of fights which were, you know, maybe some tune-ups, but then he jumped straight in with the most dangerous guy that was out there in Deontay Wilder. And everyone was saying Deontay Wilder was the one that was going to clean up everyone. And Tyson Fury went in there just two fights in after a 2.5-year layoff.
Yeah, you got to respect that. But let's get to the next guy in the building. Introduce yourself and how you feeling today, bro?
How's it going? How's it going, everybody? Feeling pretty good, man. I just want to say I appreciate you allowing me on the panel, Rap Star. Truly do.
I always
what's up
will,
to
bro.
everybody.
You've always been good to us. You've always been, you know, you always love your boxing. But Loving 8, did you enjoy the fight this weekend?
Thank you. Man, I didn't catch much of the fights this weekend, to be honest with you, man. I seen a little bit of the Shakur Stevenson. I caught that one. I caught some commentary for the Pulev and shells over there on Johnny Boys, but I didn't really catch many fights. I ain't subscribed to the zone right now. I'm gonna get that though for sure this soon. Gotta stay on these fights and shit, but didn't really catch too many of them. But I had a quick question though about Fury to the panel how does everybody feel Fury would how would he stack up against like the all-time greats? You know what I mean? Like let's say somebody like Tyson. You know, how would everybody feel Fury would hold his own against Tyson? Like
he would die.
Mike Tyson. You know
he would die.
He would die.
I mean, Fury's good, but he's not that fucking good, man.
Man, I don't know, man. Honestly, I really don't. I think he's entering his prime. To be honest with you, Fury. And I think he kind of do something how Lennox did, man. To be honest with you, I don't know. I'm just saying that I love Mike.
Leaning on him, maybe.
You know what I mean?
How do you think Fury would have done against Lennox Lewis then?
Oh, honestly, man, if Fury keeps headed, because look, this is my thing. I think with that rematch, how Fury started coming forward, you know how he started. It's like he did what Canelo did, man. He pretty much wanted to prove to all the naysayers that he could fight a different style, not just do what he normally does by just boxing so beautifully. So I think that kind of maybe might have opened up his own eyes, like, oh shit, all right, I can hold it down, I can come forward and knock the motherfuckers out. So excuse my language. So I think if he stays with that mentality and he keeps in his prime, oh yeah, man, I think he has the skills to stack up with the body, everything, the heart, that gypsy blood. You know, I got something for the gypsies, man. I like the gypsies. I think he can hold his own against any damn great, man. We'll see though. We'll see how he does against some more top competition.
Let me just answer this, Loving 8. I want to let you know this.
Okay.
Lennox Lewis said about 8 years ago that Tyson Fury is probably one of the best heavyweights he's seen after him. Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson has turned around and said that Tyson Fury seems to have the most skills in today's era of heavyweights. So if you talk to boxers and you talk to other heavyweights,
I need to jump in, man.
Go ahead.
So basically, look, you probably ain't going to find a bigger Mike Tyson fan than me. You know, I've met him a couple of times. I'm a huge fan of Mike Tyson. It's probably the reason I got into boxing when I was like a young kid. But I'm going to tell you something. First of all, I'd like to see how a 5'10" Mike Tyson would reach up to a 6'9" Tyson Fury. Mike Tyson in his prime, amazing. Obviously, took huge people down. But if you look at some of the people that he took down, I mean, going back to his record, if you look at when he fought Tony Tucker, I mean, from what I recall, he was a pretty good dude. And that was, you know, around Tyson's prime. You know, that ended up going to a unanimous decision for Tyson. But it wasn't an easy fight. I remember this is 1987. I remember this fight. That it was a tough 12 round, and I remember that, Tony Tucker Tyson gave Tony Tucker a really good uppercut through the middle. It's a really good fight. But, you know, later on when we saw that, when he started fighting some of the big guys, some of the big, strong guys like the Holyfields and the Lennox Lewis, and I hate to say this because I love Tyson more than any of them.
That wasn't Mike anymore, man.
It wasn't Mike. But, you know, I mean, even if you want to take a prime Mike and you want to look at, when would you say was prime Mike Tyson?
Mike's Spinks fight. Spinks fight is the cutoff.
Okay, Spinks fight. I'm just looking at that now because I'm just going for it. So
89, like maybe, yeah.
Right. Okay. So the Spinks fight was actually in 1988. Okay, on June of 1988.
Oh, Tony Tubbs 89. Okay.
Yeah. Tony Tubbs was in 88 as well. That was in March of 88.
Damn, wrong twice.
Okay, but the Tony Tucker fight that was in August of 87. Now Tony Tucker was, from what I recall, a pretty tall guy. Either that,
Oh, he's huge, yeah.
Yeah, he was a big guy, and Tyson didn't have an easy time with him. So when guys were probably just a few inches bigger than Tyson was able to reach him. But when a 5'10" guy is sitting there with giants who are like 6'7" and 6'6" kind of heights, you know, it does become a bit difficult for a 5'9". You've got a massive disadvantage. Look, I would be interested to see what Tyson got to say himself. Obviously, the guy's always going to believe in himself and say that, well, I think I can beat everyone. But, you know, maybe if he was going up against maybe, you know, someone who was like probably a 6'4", 6'5", that kind of a fighter. But, you know, when you're touching 6'7s and 6'9s, these heavyweights, they're like Tyson Fury, he just looks like another breed. I mean, if you look how dominant the fighters like Lennox Lewis were and the Riddick Bows, I mean, you know, these guys could box. I would have loved to have seen Tyson Fury in that era against the Riddick Bow, you know, because those guys could box and they weren't flat-footed. They could box, they could move, they had experience, they knew little tricks. It would have been amazing to see him up against.
Can I just stop you all there? No, I'm going to give Tyson more credit. I'm going to give Tyson more credit than you guys right now. When Tyson went to jail and he came out of jail, remember when he went to prison, right?
Yeah.
Then he came out of prison.
And
when he came out of prison, he had about 4 or 5 good fights, didn't he?
Yeah, but who was that with?
He beat Bruno. That's it, man.
He came to England.
He beat Bruno. He beat Selden. He beat that fucking white dude that got all jittery and ran out of him. Peter McNeely, yeah. Peter McNeely.
Boston Mathis Jr., okay, is who he beat, and Bruce Selden. And Bruce Selden, I mean...
No, Roper Dog. I got to give Tyson credit for coming over there and beating our Frank Bruno when Frank Bruno won the title against Oliver McCall.
Right.
Frank Bruno, wait. No, Roper Dog, you keep going to let me speak, please. Frank Bruno was in his prime and Tyson was in prison. Frank Bruno was training consistently and fighting while Tyson was in prison. But when Tyson came out of prison, they gave him that fight and he came and destroyed Bruno in our country. In my country in England, he destroyed Bruno. Do you remember that, Roberto?
Yeah, but how did you rate Frank Bruno as a heavyweight, dude? Let's be honest here.
He was a top 5 heavyweight at that time.
But yeah, by the time Tyson fought him, he already had 4 losses on his record.
Ooh, he got beat a lot too, though.
He already had 4 losses on his record. Hang about. Let me just, and this, because I'm talking about when he came out of prison, right? Then let me just see something because, you know, as we were talking, I decided to get his record out. So let me just look at when that Peter McNeely fight was, because that was when he came out, right? After Peter McNeely fight. Give me a moment, guys. I'm just checking this out. So
yeah, but I still got to give respect to Tyson coming back out of prison.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And being mentally, they tried to drain Tyson. They tried to mentally
look. Tyson wasn't the same Tyson.
Right?
We all know that. Tyson was not the same Tyson. He still did well, and it just showed what a force that he was. That when he did come out, he still took some top contenders down. But we're not talking about what Tyson did when he came out of prison and the people that he was beating then. We're talking about him. And you're mentioning Frank Bruno here, like for example, like Frank Bruno, that he beat Frank Bruno. But at that point, one of the losses on Frank Bruno's record at that point, because that was the second fight that he had with Bruno. The one that he had before that was one before he went into prison. So what I'm saying is the second fight that he had with Bruno, out of those 4 losses, one of them was against Tyson. And the other ones, from what I remember, I think one may have been against Tim Witherspoon, if my memory serves me correctly, with Bruno. And the other one was with Lennox Lewis.
Bone Crusher Smith.
And James Bone Crusher Smith. So these are the losses that Bruno had. But he was already 4 losses in. And Tyson came, and Tyson obviously knocked him out, and he did well. But what I'm saying is, it took Bruno 3 attempts to win a world heavyweight title against Oliver McCall. And I know that because I was at that fight. So what I'm saying is that, so what I'm saying is, then obviously Bruce Selden, if anyone remembers that fight, Bruce Selden took a dive. Bruce Selden just took a dive. Look at that fight against Bruce
Flopped
Selden.
like a fish.
Yeah, and Bruce Selden, guys, anyone who remembers that fight, would you agree with me that Bruce Selden took a dive?
He's shaking his head like, Like he's in a fucking movie or something, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, that's what he did.
I'm not going to argue with you about that, my brother. I'm not going to say nothing about that.
You know, so what I'm saying is, obviously, look, the next dangerous guy that he came up against after that was Evander Holyfield. Okay, if you look at all the names that he was fighting after he come out of prison, so we're just talking after prison. That was Peter McNeely, Buster Mathis Jr., Frank Bruno, Bruce Seldon. The real look, none of those guys are remembered. Does anyone remember those guys and who they were? Were they real like heavyweights that people are going to remember forever? No, they're not. The first name that comes up that you can say, this is a name that we can remember, okay, this is post-prison, is Evander Holyfield. But going back to the guys, they're not really talking about the Mike Tyson that, you know, came out after prison, because we all know he wasn't really the same guy. But even before that, what I'm saying is, you know, he fought Razor Ruddock twice, okay, first time.
But let me ask you this. Do you guys as men give credit to Mike Tyson after getting put in jail, having nowhere to train, just like somebody showed me, that rap star, Stephen 4722. Stephen 4722 said they didn't offer any training to Mike Tyson in the Indiana state of prison.
No.
The man was not training. And the man came back after coming out of prison. The man came back after coming out of prison, rope-a-dope, and then he came to London and he took that fucking title off of Frank Bruno and he totally destroyed him. I gotta give him some credit for that.
Of course we give him credit. Mike Tyson's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
We of course give him credit. But you know,
what about Andrew Golota? What about Andrew Golota?
Oh, what about Andrew Golota?
Well, of course, look, he obviously took out Andrew Golota as well. But then so did Riddick Bowe. Riddick Bowe beat him up too. So you know, we're just looking at a couple of fights there. Look, the question that was asked was, would Mike Tyson, how would Fury and these people would have done against the Mike Tyson? We're talking about Fury here. How would he have done against the prime Mike Tyson? So the names that right now that obviously, you know, you're talking about, like Frank Bruno, who he fought afterwards after he came out of prison. First of all, we know that weren't the same Mike Tyson. But anything he did do after that, okay, you got to give him credit for, because he showed he can still be a good contender. But we don't want to look at that Mike Tyson. We want to look at the Mike Tyson that was before prison, because that's, I think everybody unanimously on this panel will agree that the best Mike Tyson was the one, as the gentleman was just now mentioning, was the one before he went into prison, when he was fighting, you know, Tubbs and Spinks and Burbick and these guys. That was the best Tyson. So even if you want to look at that Tyson, and he was knocking people out, even then, if you want to look at that Tyson, so you got to remember the loss that he had against Buster Douglas, that was before prison. He lost that, and a lot of people.
Can I elaborate real quick a little bit too? So do you guys, another question basically to elaborate on the question is there enough competition at the heavyweight division for, let's say Fury, let's say Fury, just like a theory, he started looking very good in his next fight, pretty much like almost not dominating but just taking control. Is there enough competition out there that can pretty much like catapult him to being up there with like the true greats, like, you know, like the Muhammad Ali's, you know, like up there? Is there enough competition? Like, is AJ looking good enough to where AJ can catapult him up there, or you know, is he kind of stuck with the heavyweight not being so strong right now?
I think I'm gonna have to go with what you're saying. The second part of what you said. He's got Deontay Wilder, which people are going to say that, right, okay, well, you've beaten Deontay Wilder, who was a devastating puncher, and that's certainly going to give him some recognition. But we all remember Deontay Wilder in his earlier fights. Okay, when he came back and beat Bermain Stavern, the second fight, he came with a beautiful 1-2 jab cross and took Stavern down. But Stavern just looked a mess in that fight anyway. He didn't even look like he was in shape. But he took him down in style, and he was a world champion. So you got to give some credit there. And then, you know, other than that, he was being outboxed by Luis Ortiz until he obviously, his punch got him out of trouble again, and he took out Ortiz in that fight. So, you know, I mean, the resume that Deontay Wilder's got, who are the people that really brought him up to that resume? Who were the huge names on his record? I mean, like I said, he's beaten some guys at the top. Fine, okay, give him credit for that if you want to give him credit for some of those guys. But what I'm saying is, you've got to look at that record. That it looks like they were just building numbers. I mean, everyone would agree right now, Fury probably, you know, even Fury probably had a better record than him to some extent. But we're talking about Fury's record now, and who he's got in his record. He's got Deontay Wilder, which people are going to say he did really well. He beat Klitschko, so he's got some good names. And if he beats AJ, then obviously, and he beats Wilder again, you can say he beat the best in his era. So from that era that was around, that's the best he could have done. And you've got to give him credit for that. If he hasn't got the competition there, I don't think it would have been as easy for him if there was a Riddick Bowe, a prime Riddick Bowe, a prime Lennox Lewis, and a prime Holyfield around. I would have loved to have seen him in with them.
Yeah, I think you got to appreciate the heavyweight scene has developed, and the heavyweight scene today, the people are much bigger and much more. If you look at the Klitschko's, after the Klitschko's, the Joshua, the Wilders, the Furies, they're way more bigger heavyweights than what we had years ago. Even Lennox Lewis was 6'3" or 6'4", and I love Lennox Lewis. And actually, you know what? Do you remember when Lennox Lewis had a car showroom? He opened a car showroom. He had, and it was called Lennox Lewis. Something about Lennox Lewis cars. I remember I went over there just to buy a car, just because it was Lennox Lewis's fucking brand of cars. And Lennox Lewis was the biggest thing came out of a heavyweight after Bruno for us. But I'm gonna be honest. I think if Tyson Fury fought Lennox Lewis and they're both in their prime, and we're talking about a focused Tyson Fury, I don't know how Lennox Lewis deals with Fury. I don't. And Lennox Lewis is one of the best which ever came out of boxing from England. But we are discrediting the heavyweights that we have today, because this is the best of what we got today. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Wilder, all these guys are the best of our era.
And that's not Tyson Fury's fault. And you know what? I just want to address something. I've got one of your guys saying, call Wilder trash, and then you want to give Fury credit for it. So first of all, did anyone hear me call Wilder trash? Did I say that?
No, I didn't hear that, bro.
No, I didn't say that. So anyway, first of all, someone said that I called Wilder trash. I never said Wilder was trash. I actually said Wilder's probably one of the most devastating punches we've ever had. And
You're giving Wilder credit.
Even if you're fighting guys who are just around the top contenders, with the amount of knockouts that he's got, and I said, you know, you've got to give the man credit for his power. And obviously, I said he used a beautiful 1-2, the way he took Stavern out, and his punch again helped him to take out Ortiz. So he's got some credit. So I didn't call Wilder trash.
You know, Stavern was diagnosed with a muscular degenerative disease after the second fight.
I didn't know that.
So he was basically a mush man. He was a body full of jelly.
Let me tell you this other statement I'm going to make. I'm going to make another statement. I think Lennox Lewis gives a harder fight to Tyson Fury, or beats him, than what Anthony Joshua can do. I think Lennox Lewis is a much better fighter than Anthony Joshua. And I think
No shit.
I think Lennox Lewis would have definitely beat Anthony Joshua. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Look, I think you know, I would have loved to have seen Lennox Lewis and Riddick Bowe have a fight. Those two would have been a great fight. I want to remind everyone about another fight of Lennox Lewis, of an unbeaten guy, and that was a gentleman, if you might remember, his name was Michael Grant. And he was coming up as the next big thing. He was I think he was 6'5", 6'6", and he was knocking everybody out. And Lennox Lewis made easy work of him. So Lennox Lewis was obviously something very special. I think he was, I agree with everyone in that regard, that he was the best heavyweight of that era that came along, especially when he started working more with the Kronk Gym and Emmanuel Stewart. But later on in his career, as he started, I think it's a crime that he didn't go up against Riddick Bowe.
Yeah, but that's not his fault. That was Riddick Bowe's fault. Riddick Bowe stopped the fight.
Whoever's fault it was a crime. It should have happened. That fight we should have seen. But like I said, these guys were a few heavyweights that were out there.
But let me ask you a question as a man-to-man. Do you think Lennox Lewis has better attributes and a better jab, better skill than Anthony Joshua?
Yes.
What do you think, Love and Hate? I want to ask everyone, Love and Hate, do you think Lennox Lewis is a better fighter all round than Anthony Joshua?
Then Anthony Joshua, I would say yes as well. Yeah.
What about you, Blues?
Yep, and I think he whoops Fury too, just because all them little herky-jerky feints leaning on you. Like, he got that shit from the Kronk style. He got that shit from the Stewart style. He had Manny. He didn't have Sugar Hill in his corner. Lennox had the real deal in his shit. Like, dude, he would not be Prime Lewis. Plus, he punches like a fucking monster too. Like, you remember what he did to Hasim Rockman? Fury
I remember.
Prime Lewis was a beast. Yeah, but I think Fury's still gonna get there though. This is just theories. Obviously, I think he might get there to the point where his prime will be just as good as Lennox's prime. But I'm just wondering about the competition now. At first, I thought AJ could have brought it out. AJ. I thought Ruiz. Man, if he gets focused and now he got a good trainer, I thought he could bring out the best in a lot of fighters. So I had some high hopes for Fury, but now looking how AJ looks and we don't know. I mean, we have to see how Ruiz looks and this Frank Sanchez dude, is he going to be all right? I mean, we don't know, but I think definitely in his prime, he had the competition to bring out the best in Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury, man, could hold his own against Lennox Lewis, all the top heavyweights.
So this is what I'm going to get to now. We all.
Hey, I got to take off, though, fellas. I really, truly appreciate the time, and I will definitely catch you guys later. This was a lot of fun. I hope I can catch you guys later.
Yeah, and everybody, don't forget to smash that like button, man.
Oh, of course I did.
Smash that like button, press the notification, and subscribe.
You gotta take care. I did for sure. Much love, much love.
Hey, much love to you, bro. And let me tell you, the smashing the like button is important for the trolls because the trolls will come and dislike it. At least if you smash that like button, it keeps our channel alive.
Hey, I just want to shout out some love to your man, BG London, man. He's making some comments and he said,
go ahead.
He said I wasn't talking to you. So, look, man, if it wasn't to me, then, I didn't mean anything to say to you. I hope you didn't take it in any wrong way.
Yeah, but I want to come to some factual things of what we think in the past of the future. So do we all agree Lennox Lewis would have been a tougher matchup for Anthony Joshua than Tyson Fury? Do we agree on that? Right.
Yeah.
So we have to also agree that if Lennox Lewis, we think, would have beaten Anthony Joshua, and we think Lennox Lewis would have been maybe, a 50-50 fight with Tyson Fury, right? Because I want to give Lennox Lewis a lot of respect. He's done a lot for my sport in England, and he was one of the heavyweights who stamped the heavyweight game after Bruno. Bruno just won the belt, like Rope-a-Dope said, for being lucky. Lennox Lewis was a real lineal champion. He actually beat champions, and he also defined his losses, right? He went back and won those fights, what he lost. But Lennox Lewis, to me, is one of the greatest heavyweights coming out of England. He is the number one from the past. But I think Lennox Lewis's hardest heavyweight match would have been against a fighter like Tyson Fury. If Lennox Lewis and Tyson Fury were around the same time, I think that would be a hard matchup for Lennox.
Look at Vitaly.
Huh?
Look at the Vitaly Klitschko fight. That big, tall, giant pressing.
Remind everyone about that fight. Remind everyone. Go ahead.
Dude.
Yeah, it got stuck on the cut.
Yeah, he was on Lennox's ass for 6.5 rounds. Or I think he cut him in the 5th. It was later on, man. He came out for round 5 or 6 and launched a giant 1-2 and like an arcing 2. And I guess the slipping, like it slid off, and I guess it sliced him. It wasn't the impact that did it. Like the impact was massive, but the way the glove slid off, it just sliced not only his eyebrow, but his eyelid. So he had like 2 cuts, bro. It was so nasty. And he just kept fighting because Vitaly's like could be like, you're going to tear his face off to make him stop. But he gave him a lot of problems, man. And Lennox want to talk about he was out of shape. He didn't train for that fight, yada, yada. He was getting it put on him, bro.
But Lennox beat some greats. He beat Evander Holyfield. He beat Vitaly Klitschko. He beat Bruno. He beat Shannon Briggs. He beat Oliver McCall. He beat Mike Tyson. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm a big Lennox Lewis fan, all right? I come from England. I come from where Lennox comes from. And this is going to be a really touchy story for everyone. I actually was sad when Mike Tyson lost against Lennox Lewis. I was upset because that was not Mike Tyson, which was in his prime. They gave Lennox Lewis the Mike Tyson, which was disturbed, not in his prime, taking drugs. And Lennox Lewis put a beating on Mike Tyson. And I was with Rope-a-Dope. Rope-a-Dope and me were at the same place watching that fight. Do you remember that, Rope-a-Dope?
Yeah. It was horrible, man. It was horrible. I hated it. It was one I just didn't want to see that. The way. I mean, because I just thought, man, don't do that to Mike Tyson. He deserves better than that. The fighter that Mike Tyson was, he doesn't deserve to go out like that. So it wasn't nice to look at at all, But I just wanted to add another couple of names that I think it's fair to say we can call Lennox Lewis great. He's definitely one of the greats. So I just wanted to add a couple of names. Like obviously I had mentioned Michael Grant earlier, But remember, he also fought David Tua, who was a beast, and had only lost once by the time that he met him. He also beat, as you mentioned, Shannon Briggs. He was also another. You obviously talked about Andrew Glotter. He also beat Henry Akiwande. I don't know if anyone remembers him in 1997, but by the time Henry Akiwande came to fight him, Henry Akiwande had a fight of 32 wins, no losses, and 1 draw. So, you know, Lennox Lewis has got some good names. Ray Mercer.
Real quick. Tyson Fury's father had a professional bout with Henry Akinwande in 1993.
Oh, did he
Wow, I
really?
forgot that.
Big
That's
John
a
Fury was a pro
very,
fighter, dude.
hey, that's a very good point. You're hardcore to know
Oh,
that, bro.
It's
that's
random,
good,
right?
man.
Oh,
That's
this
good.
guy's a hardcore fucking boxing
I
fan.
like it, man. We need some of that. You know what? Lewis was also saying that Ray Mercer, I believe he was saying, was his toughest fight. And I
Oh, yeah.
remember that fight. Ray Mercer was a unit. He was big, he was strong, and no matter what you hit him with, the man just kept coming forward. He looked like one of those giant refrigerators just coming at you. So that was another great one for Evander, for Lennox Lewis. He had some great names on his record, and obviously a lot of people say Vitaly Klitschko was the tough of the two brothers out of him and Vladimir. They said Vitaly was actually the more tougher one, and he only had, I believe, 1 loss on his record at the time, which I think is who was it that stopped Vitaly Klitschko?
Chris Bird off of retirement because his shoulder's injured or something like that.
Yeah, let me just see. Yeah, Chris Bird. Obviously, that was the favorite.
Yeah, I think Chris Bird is the first guy to retire. I'm not first guy to make Vitaly quit. He made him quit in the ring because of the injury, right?
Well, I mean, an injury is an injury, man. An injury is an injury, you know.
A dislocated shoulder. Dislocated shoulder it was, and he stayed on his stool and he said, I don't want no more. Remember?
Yeah, you know what, guys? I just wanted to touch on something quickly because I know we touched on this before, but as we're on the heavyweight subject, you know, we were talking about a lot of quitting and this sort of stuff going on. Did anyone, by any chance? I mean, cause I've got to jump off soon, but I wanted to touch on this before I go. Did anyone manage to see the Shakur Stevenson fight?
Actually, I'm gonna watch this. No, go ahead. Go ahead. You go first, bro. Go ahead.
So
Go ahead, man.
Man, I just want to mention something. First of all, Shakur Stevenson looked amazing. He was putting in some vicious combinations, great uppercuts and body work. And the guy that he was fighting, he had some boxing skills. And there was a little thing that they touched on again, because obviously me and Rapstar were recently talking about quitting. And there was a guy in there who had 2 losses, the Toka Khan Clary, and he's only got 2 losses on his record. And something they were talking about, because Tim Bradley was saying, you know, his corner should pull him out. And the thing is that the guy's usual trainer was diagnosed with COVID, so he wasn't there. So Freddie Roach stepped in. Freddie Roach has worked with this guy again, but he's not his regular trainer. And they were talking about, because this guy was getting beaten up, he took a 10-round systematic beating at the hands of Shakur Stevenson. And the thing what I want to ask you guys is, because Timothy Bradley was saying that when your fighter is getting whooped to this level, round after round after round, you know, should he be pulled out by his corner? And some people are going to say, no, let him see the whole fight through. Timothy Bradley was saying, well, he should be pulled out. Andre Ward was saying, no, the guy's got a lot of pride. Let him fight, you know, let him get to the end. But what do you think is better? Is it better to take a 10-round whooping for 10 rounds where you're not winning any rounds? You don't look like, as Timothy Bradley was saying, you don't look like you're getting any stronger. You don't look like you've got a concussive punch that is going to take your opponent out. Would you let him just go to the 10 rounds and let him see it out and probably take some of his soul that may have been left in him for a future fight, or, you know, spare him spare him the punishment of possibly even getting some kind of severe damage done for repeated beatings that he's taking, or let him fight and let him see out the 12 rounds. Now, I think there's a conversation to be had over here, because we had a conversation, me and Rapstar had a conversation recently about quitting and what this means. And the thing is, I think, I definitely don't think that we should leave it up to the fighter that he gets in such a bad position where he sits there and he just like doesn't get back up, and you know he decides he doesn't want to go on, and people then put it on the fight and start saying you quit, you quit, you quit. I think there's some work here that the corners need to be looking at, and they need to save their fighters some pride, and they need to be looking out for them some more. Because I think some of these corners, I mean, I think this guy should have been pulled out yesterday. I don't believe the guy should, you know, when you know that you're not going to be winning any rounds. I mean, it was a complete shutout. You know, it was 100-90. I mean, I think all three cards unanimously scored. And I want to ask you guys that, do you think that at what round, when you're seeing that it's been a complete shutout and it's a 10-round fight, at what round would you jump in? Fine, I would give the fighter about 3, 4, 5 rounds. But 7, 8 rounds in, there's an argument, well, he's only got 2 rounds to go. Do you want to make him look like he was stopped? Or do you want to let him get to the 10 rounds now because he's already taken a beating for 8 rounds? At what point?
Yeah, but what are you supposed to do? Because if you look at so many fights, right? Do you remember with Sam Sexton? Sam Sexton was losing 7, 8 rounds and he came out with a knockout. Right? You look at what Nakatani was doing. Now, did everybody watch the Nakatani fight yesterday?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, now let me talk. Let me talk. Nakatani, I had him 6 rounds to 0. He was losing the first rounds dramatically. Nakatani was looking like he was going to get outboxed and outpunched, and he was getting knocked down. But look at how Nakatani came with all that heart and took all that beating, and then he came back with his own beating and his own.
Didn't he break his orbital though?
What do you mean?
I believe he's broke his orbital in the fight against Teofimo Lopez.
Oh, okay. I swear I saw something on that shit. Anyway.
Yeah, but you see what we're coming at, Roper. You know, you look at Nakatani, how he was losing, and then he came back and stopped the dude. So it's very hard to stop a fight sometimes if you're throwing punches. If the man is totally getting demolished in every round, I get what you're saying. But that's down to the corner. The ref is not maybe going to stop it. The corner has to step in, Roper.
Yeah,
and this depends on if he's trying to use your instructions. If he's not doing anything you're telling him in the corner, like after about 4 or 5 rounds, you tell him to go out and throw everything. This is some Stacey McKinley shit. Go out and throw everything to the head, and if you don't stop him, I'm gonna stop the fucking fight. Like, you gotta go out if they're going off your instructions, baby man. But it's all relative. You know what I mean? It's all relative to the situation in the fight.
Yeah, go on, Roper. I mean, what do you think about that?
Look, we're pretty sure with Freddie Roach in the corner and the way Freddie Roach's style is with his fighters, he's very offensive. He's a very offensive thinking trainer, and that's what he believes in. Everyone was saying about Clary that he needs to let his hands go, and he wasn't letting his hands go. And this is the difference here with the Nakatani fight with him. Yes, he took some bad knockdowns, but the thing is, he took a couple of bad knockdowns, but he wasn't complete. Once they did start fighting again, he wasn't completely being outclassed the way this guy was. And you'll see what I mean when you see the fight. He was still coming back with something, and he started seeing some success with the straight jab cross that he started using against Verdejo. And I think when they started seeing that, okay, he's starting to get some success. After he did take some knockdowns, but and he was out. If he was in the corner and he was just getting pounded away and he's not throwing something back, fine, a case to stop it. But the thing is, it's got to be at least somewhat competitive. Nakatani did come back and he started seeing some success with the jab cross. He was using his long ramrod of a jab, and it started working for him, and he started seeing some success. So there was a little bit like coming back. This guy Clary wasn't really coming back with anything. He wasn't letting his hands go, and I'm sure there's no doubt Freddie Roach must have been telling him, you've got to let your hands go. You've got to let your hands go. And a couple of times when he tried, you could see that, okay, he did move a bit forward, but then, you know, Shakur did come back straight away, punishing him. But the kind of beating that Shakur Stevenson were giving him, it wasn't just like pitter-patter punches, you know, he was taking a real hard beating. And that's all I'm saying, that, you know, I think they said that he had, at one stage of the fight, I think they brought out a stat that he had taken about 54 punches in the body, and they were power punches. And you've got to protect your fighter a little bit. And that's all I'm saying, that, you know, there's different. Look, I remember the fight where I think it was Shane Mosley and who's that other guy, the one that used to smoke the cigarettes?
Mayoga.
If you remember that fight, Mayoga was really in the fight with Shane Mosley, and he probably, I mean, it wasn't a complete shutout, but he looked like he had the better of Mosley. But right at the end of the fight, Mosley knocked him out. So what I'm saying is there's an argument for it, yes, but there's, you know, the fight's got to be somewhat competitive. This was not a competitive fight. And I just think corners need to start stepping in. And I'm surprised with, you know, Freddie Roach, maybe Freddie Roach, because he's not his regular trainer, he didn't do it. But I just think when you see that a fighter's really getting the life being beaten out of him and he's just taking too much punishment, do you save him for another day and say, look, come back another day, you've got work to do? Or do you just say, all right, fine, you know, finish your fight and just show that you're a durable fighter, and see the fight through? I mean, what do you do? I mean, at what point should the corner come in?
I mean, I really don't know what to say about that, because if a corner stops the fight, right, and you're still throwing punches, it's kind of like we're in a defeated situation, because we have seen fights, but not everybody's as talented as Shakur Stevenson. And the problem is, we have seen fights in the past where someone's losing 9, 10 fucking rounds and then comes back in the 11th round and knocks the dude out. We've seen it before. We've seen it every year. We always see a guy coming back after losing. So, you know, it's a very tricky question, Rope-a-Dope. And I think the only person who should stop the fight is the corner. The corner knows their fighter way better than anybody else. It's the corner, man, should stop the fight when he knows his fight hasn't got much chance in this fight anymore, and save him for another day.
Yeah,
they shouldn't wait on a referee. They should not be waiting on a referee.
Yeah, Rapstar, that's pretty much what the kind of thing that I'm trying to say, because I'm not liking it these days. The way I don't feel corners are stepping in enough when they need to. I do not like to see a fighter sitting there having to quit himself, or having to sit there and not just get back up again. You can see he doesn't want it. You can see he's not letting his hands go. And the corner's just letting him carry on and let him take a beating. You know?
So if you thought that should have been stopped, let me ask everybody in the chat and everybody on the panel this question right now. Should Wilder had been stopped when he got stopped against Tyson Fury in the second fight? Let me ask.
Should have been stopped in the fifth.
That who should have stopped it? The referee?
The corner should have thrown the towel in the fifth, man.
The corner did the right thing to throw that towel in. They saved their fighter. He was getting a systematic beating, and credit to Wilder for wanting to continue. Wilder showed heart. You could see he genuinely still wanted to go on, and you could see he was not happy about being stopped. So we got to give Wilder credit here. Just because he lost the fight, it doesn't mean that he hasn't shown character and he hasn't shown heart. Wilder, you could see wanted to carry on. So, you know, that was a different situation. But again, the corner stepped in. It was the right thing to do. Whether Wilder agrees with that or not, it was the right thing to do. But you know, that's all I'm saying. Now,
yeah, but look, let me just say this to you. There's two ways you can look at this. Wilder got stopped through the corner, right? Now, a lot of people said that the referee should have stopped it. A lot of people said that the referee should have stopped that fight through the beating that Wilder was taking, right? Now, if you're going to wait for the referee, it could be drastic for the fighter. Because some of the referees,
don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Old
that's why I said the towel. I can't stand Joe Cortez, man. After that fucking Ortiz, where he just walked away from Ortiz and let Mayweather starch him. It's the dumbest shit. Just irresponsibility, man.
So we're not hating. We love Wilder, but Wilder's fight should have been stopped even before it got stopped. Do you see what I'm saying? And now they've turned it around, Rope-a-Dope and my other brother. They've turned it around. They've said, oh, you stopped the fight too early. So what do you want to do? Do you want to get Wilder into a fucking cabbage? Do they want to put Wilder in a wheelchair? Because any more beating that Wilder would have took in that Tyson Fury fight, he would have probably got damaged. He might not have made it to make another fight anymore.
Look, you got to remember, at the same time, referees are under a lot of pressure because if the referee goes, I mean, you can remember the George Groves fight against Carl Froch. That fight, you know, George Groves got stopped. He was very unhappy about it being stopped, and the referee took a lot of flack for it. So, you know, you've got to remember, referees have to be absolutely certain and sure that there just isn't anything, you know, that's going to come back. And I think very shortly after, the referee would have stepped in anyway. But you know, I think Wilder's corner showed compassion and real concern for their fighter, and they did the right thing and threw the towel in. I just think it was the right thing to do. I think sooner or later the referee would have stepped in anyway, but but you know, the corner did, and I'm glad the corner were looking out for their fighter.
So everybody agrees Wilder's fight should have got stopped exactly before or just before he got stopped, right?
Yeah, you could see he was getting a beating.
I'm losing you. Rope it up. I can't hear you, man.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Y'all both went full transform for a second, man.
Yeah.
Look, because I think the Wilder. Listen. Let me tell you why the Wilder fans have just come into the building. They're all here now, and I'm letting you know, Wilder's fight should have got stopped before it got stopped. And that's just the way it is.
He saved that motherfucker, man.
He saved that motherfucker, bro. Listen, what's the trainer's name again?
Mark Breeland.
Mark Breeland is a very well-known athlete all over the world. And Mark Breeland has done things for the American Olympics. Mark Breeland is a two-time world champion. If he's the only one who knows Wilder better than anybody. So he stopped that fight to save Wilder's respect and integrity for another day. What do you think about that, guys?
I'm going to let my man jump in. I've talked enough.
His loyalty was misplaced because he confided in a dummy, in a narcissistic, delusional head case of a human. Mark Breeland thought that he was raising up a good fighter and a good person. Really, he was raising a monster that would one day turn around and try to destroy his entire reputation that he worked his entire life to achieve, man. Like, who the fuck's ever turned their back on the trainer this badly, man? Tried to smear his own name, bro. Like, Wilder, I don't even want to get started on this. This is a 2-hour live I can fucking do on my own shit, and I have done. But fucking Wilder's sickening to me, man. Especially with his... What were we talking about? I don't want to get into this, bro. What were we talking about right before the just whether the trainer should have stopped it or not? Yeah,
we're talking about. Let me make it clear. We're talking about Mark Breeland did the best thing he could do as a coach for his fighter. Mark Breeland actually saved his fighter for another day, and he got the backlash. Mark Breeland is the one who got hanged in front of the tree, and Mark Breeland is the one that they're making into a bad example. And I think that is fucking bullshit. I think that's really bad for boxing. Carry on, bro.
It's just sad, man.
Yeah, look, man, I agree. I think it's pretty criminal, to be honest. You know, the hate that Mark Breeland's been getting. First of all, the guy pretty much saved you for some permanent damage that you could have get. And if you actually remember, when they actually stopped it and Wilder was complaining, like, why did you stop it? Mark Breeland was pointing to his ear because I think he had some blood or something coming out of his ear. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Either it was his head, but I'm pretty sure it was his ear. And Mark Breeland was pointing to his ear saying that, look, you got blood coming out of your ear. And, you know, that can be anything. That could be from a bleed inside your head. It could be from anywhere. So, you know, he protected him. I think it's quite pretty disgraceful, Wilder blaming Mark Breeland. But Mark Breeland shouldn't take it personally because along with him, Walter was blamed, Gloves was blamed, and his suit was blamed as well. So please, Mark Breeland, if you're listening, don't take it personally. Man.
JD's wasn't blamed. JD's wasn't fucking blaming. He didn't train Wilder for the first couple of years, right? Or was he with Wilder the entire time? Because I'm pretty sure Mark Breeland was his original trainer that started him out. So if anybody deserves that kind of loyalty, it's Mark-Breeland, bro. It ain't no JDs, and he hadn't said 2 words about JDs. That's what's really pissing me to fuck off. Like Breeland was his father in that corner, man. Like he's his parent, his guardian and shit.
Yeah, no, he turned on him pretty bad. And, you know, to be honest, you know, more lately, people seem to know Mark-Breeland for that more than anything else. It's only people from like way before that remember who Mark-Breeland is. But what I'm saying is now, Mark-Breeland's name seems to be popular for this. And, you know, imagine how Mark-Breeland feels. That, you know, he's pretty much been embarrassed, made to look bad, being told, I think he was sacked and then he was brought back. And then I'm not sure if he's sacked again. I don't know. What is the status of Mark-Breeland now? Is he still in the camp?
I'm not sure. Last I heard, he wasn't.
Yeah, so look, man.
Yeah, let's just
Look,
speak to Jeff.
guys,
Listen, hey, Roper Dog, we're gonna shut Roper Dog.
We're coming up towards 2 in the morning, so good chopping out with you guys, and I'm sure we'll catch up again.
Okay, man. Take care, Ringside.
Peace and love to everyone. Take care. Bye.
Hey, Roper Dog, I'll catch you soon, my brethren.
All right.
Yeah, we got Jeff in the house, man. What's happening, Jeff?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Yo.
Man, we're talking about this Mark-Breeland situation in what happened with Wilder, and a lot of people from outside in, they think this is the worst thing Wilder could have done is actually blame the guy who helped him to become the great boxer that, or even to become in the position that he is today. Mark-Breeland seemed to be the only man who cares about Deontay Wilder. Mark-Breeland was the only man who stepped up his neck and put his reputation and threw the towel in that fucking ring to save him. And now he's getting the backlash. How do you feel about that?
I feel the same. I think out of all the bullshit excuses is blasphemous and it's fucking bullshit. And it's retarded that people buy into the excuses he made up. But anyone defending that Mark shit he's saying is just, that shit is retarded to me. I mean, you're going to tell me this fucking guy poisoned your fucking water? I mean, that right there, I mean, what kind of fucking world are you living in?
His own?
Yeah, but can I ask you this? I mean, at the end of the day, with all these accusations and everything, and he wants the trilogy, how does he come into the trilogy with all that negative mindset and having all these yes men around you? Does he not need to clean up the whole foundation for himself?
Well, that's the other thing. People are saying that Fury's scared to fight him for a third fucking fight. How are you going to make a fucking fight when you're talking all this stupid shit, throwing people under the bus, talking about people are cheating? Now, if he can prove he fucking cheated, I'm fine with that. I don't want cheaters in boxing. I'm a big Fury fan, but if he cheated, I want that motherfucker out. So drop the fucking evidence or get back in the fucking ring and quit bitching.
I mean, this is what I want to say to you guys from the outside. We saw, this is how this started. Wilder was humbled and he was hugging Tyson Fury. And after that week, he made an excuse on the internet about his costume and the laser eyes. Do you remember the costume? And then he had laser eyes going around the costume, like infrared laser lights.
Yeah.
So first, let me tell you what the first excuse was. That my legs were tired and my eyes were a bit funny because of the laser, right? That was the first thing he said.
Which I can kind of believe the latter part. Like the former is obviously bullshit, the suit's too heavy, but the red eyes next to your eye, the red lights, the LED lights shining directly next to your eyes, and then you take that shit off, and now your depth perception hasn't adjusted, and your balance. Like, dude, Jeff Mayweather had a good point about Roger, the Black Mamba, wearing a pair of sunglasses in his ring walk one time. He wore them all the way up to the ring, and when he was in the ring, he took the shit off, and his eyes never adjusted, and he got knocked out early. So
yeah, well, that's fucking Wilder's fault. I mean, that has nothing to do with Fury. This motherfucker's got fucking lights lit up next to his fucking eyes. What are you, fucking retarded?
Like glittery bitch. Like nobody told you to put that shit on.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it looked really good though. I'm not gonna lie. Wilder's costume looked fucking amazing, bro. It was like if I was ever in a Halloween party. If I ever was in a Halloween party, I'll be definitely giving him the treats first.
I thought that shit looked horrible.
Okay, everyone's got mixed emotions, but the costume looked kind of crazy, bro.
Yeah, big Demon King or some shit. Like, it was evil, man. With that blue lighting and how slow he did the Undertaker walk to the ring. Like, I got creeped out for a second or two.
Hey, look, I'm gonna get Raw on this channel before I leave the building, and I love you guys. I love you guys supporting our channel. We're from England, you're from another country, but we love the game of boxing, right? We all love boxing. That's why we're here, right? But we're done with the bullshit. Let's be honest. Every man does not like the bullshit, right? And this looks like a lot of bullshit, bro.
It looks like a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, and let me tell you what else. I like Wilder, but this has totally made him look a bit insane, bro. Because not only
He looks like a bitch.
Yeah, you're complaining about the man's costume, the legs, the fucking eyes. Next thing you're complaining is about the gloves. Then you're complaining about the water what Wilder-Breeland gave him or JD gave him. Then they're complaining about just how that the fucking gloves were.
He complained about the fucking ref too.
Yeah, wait. Then he complained about Kenny Bayless, that the ref was not on his side. I mean, how many more excuses are you gonna fucking make?
Yeah, everyone's done with this shit.
So can I just say something just as a normal fan? Do you think there was a movement going on at that time and they got that guy to sing that Black Lives Matter song? Do you remember?
Yeah, man.
So they were singing this song, right? And Deontay Wilder was telling everyone, I'm gonna do this for my people. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And do you remember he was saying, I'm gonna put Tyson Fury in a body bag? You remember all this?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think all these things backfired. And I think it became a sensitive movement. No, if I'm saying anything wrong, please put me straight. Because, you know, we love boxing. I just want to keep it frank. Do you think that sensitive moment of them having that Black Lives Matter look, I love everybody. My family's multicultural. My kids are a different race. And I come from a multicultural. I love everybody. But I want to keep it real. I think that particular sensitive movement going into that fight is what backfired on Wilder and his fans, and they had to find a way. Like everybody was finding excuses for Wilder straight away, weren't we?
Yeah, I think Wilder bought into that shit too hard, and then it just all went bad. I mean, as simple as that. And I don't have any problems with anyone representing that shit, but I mean, it just made him look real fucking bad and weak.
And now he's using it as a crutch, man. Now he's using it as like leverage. Like he knows he has absolutely zero chips. So he's
exactly.
These people are loving this conspiracy horse shit. Let me go ahead and validate their lunacy. Let me go ahead and vindicate their fucking retardation and uplift them. Yeah, they're right. I'm the king. When he said he referred to himself in his head as king, he's talking. I kept telling myself, "Get up, king! Get up, king!" Like, you fucking sociopath. Like, he's so in his own world, bro. He's in Looneyville right now. He's the king of the Looney Tunes.
No, but I think that psychologically has played a part into this backlash. I think a lot of fans are really angry because Wilder was coming in for that movement, and Wilder actually put it on his shoulder. Because I'm going to send all these, I'm going to edit all these and put it up on my videos soon. I think Wilder put himself under a lot of pressure. And I think they thought they were cherry picking, but really it backfired on them because Tyson Fury is much better than they ever thought he would be.
He fucked his whole style up getting all that muscle too, man. He needs to be thin and like lanky and like a whip. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually think Wilder has put himself in a very bad position because mentally he can't be ready. He can't be. If you've got rid of the people that care about you and you already know you've got all these accusations, but you ain't done fuck all about these accusations, bro. You ain't doing nothing about these accusations. All you're doing, because if you had any proof, and it's been nearly a year, you would have definitely fucking pulled out some proof. This is all bullshit, bro. You trying to get the third fight, and you trying to slander Tyson Fury to get into the third fight. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Rapstar thinks that Wilder's going to court to try and get step-aside money. I don't think Wilder wants the third fight. I think he wants a step-aside money because of the contract expired through the COVID and the pandemic. And they couldn't find venues and they couldn't find places to host the fight to get the fans. I think Wilder wants to go through that contract so he can get a step aside money. So at least they better pay him something handsomely because he didn't get the third fight. What do you think of that?
Go ahead, Blue.
Do you think he wants the third fight in his heart?
I don't.
Hell no. Hell, dude. He's still taking cold showers in a fetal position thinking about that shit. Why would he want it again?
You don't want it.
So why is he going to court?
Saving face, cuz. He can't fucking let us people. He's the king. You know what I mean? Fucking phony.
So you think that he's going to court just to keep the people quiet so he can get the fans to understand that he wants this fight? You think he's just to save face? He's saving credibility? Is that what you said?
Go ahead, Joe.
So really, really and truly, Wilder's in a situation right now, which is a sensitive movement. If he gets the third fight and loses, even worse, what the fuck's going to happen next? Say if he has the third fight now in April or May, what they're gonna do? Get lock and put it on the water. They need to get a little.
Hey,
let me tell you.
honestly, go ahead.
A little safe with a key and make sure he locks his water as well. All right. Make sure. No, I mean, if you want to go this freaky, the world is going to be watching this fight, right? What's he going to do now if he loses against Tyson Fury? Even worse.
You ever seen? You ever? I had a terrible vision about this fight. Like I literally thought about it and didn't even really have to think about it. I just seen what would happen, man. You ever seen Riddick Bowe versus Golota #1?
No, but I can't remember. But I remember Riddick Bowe was getting hurt through his penis. I remember Golota was hitting him.
Yes.
Golota was hitting him in his penis. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's three-piecing him in the pills, right to the pills. But multiple times to the point where he got disqualified, and Riddick Bowe's people jumped Golota in the ring like 12-on-1, and then Golota's people jumped in the ring, and then the whole first 8 rows just descended into madness, and they had a fucking riot. And George Foreman took off his he was ringside commentary. He took off his headset and started shoving people trying to bum rush the ring and shit. You can hear him going, "Get back, son! Don't do that, son!" Like, dude, I wish I had footage of George Foreman doing crowd control and shit, shoving people. But I believe when the Wilder Fury trilogy fight takes place, he will stop Wilder again, and he'll do it sooner than he did last time, and no one will believe it. They'll think that he's cheating in front of their very eyes, and I hope nothing pops off. I just got a real bad feeling about that fucking fight, man. The tension in the fucking building is gonna, like, if there are fans, if there's any kind of an audience, he's gonna fuck them up, and no one's gonna believe that shit, man. I
Can
just
you guys hear me?
Relax as fuck. Yeah, man. What's up?
Yeah, we can hear you, Jeff. But let me tell you, this is coming to a point, yeah, that Wilder fans want the third fight. Wilder fans, every day they speak on my channel, they speak on other channels, they come along, they say, look, you can't take this third fight away from us because Wilder deserves the third fight. They say Wilder deserves the third fight. Wilder gave Fury the chance. Now give us the chance. And you can't. Shit. And they let me just explain, and I want you guys to help us. They say to me, Raptor, I know you want the fight with Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, but we want Wilder trilogy first before you guys fight for the undisputed. And then I say to them, but do you think Wilder really wants the fight? Because he lost really bad. Answer me. Because these Wilder fans say we want the third fight or no undisputed. What do you think?
Blues, you want to go?
Yeah.
No, go ahead, man.
I think if they really want it, they can get it. And like I said, I've been saying for a while now, Wilder will always have a puncher's chance. Against someone like Fury, those are not great odds. So if they want it, they can get it. I just think Wilder's bitching is not going to help anything get done for a third fight.
Okay, so you think this whole negative environment, bitching, making excuses, ain't helping nobody on the third fight? It's in fact,
no, I don't.
Crazy boxing, correct? And
yeah,
what we
I don't think
do now, we need to come to terms as boxing fans. Do we want to give Wilder that opportunity to redeem himself? Because let's not forget, Wilder does have that X factor. He can hurt you. and we know Wilder
course.
is a 95% knockout ratio, right? They're
Yeah.
saying that just let Wilder have his last chance. Now, let me tell everybody this. If Wilder gets the trilogy and he loses really bad, I think that fucking might put an end to his career.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, they're fighters. They gotta get in there and fight. So get in there and fight. Stop being a bitch.
So you think just let the trilogy happen now, and let's put this to bed and let Wilder have his opportunity for the trilogy, right?
Listen, I would rather see Fury fight AJ, but I'm not against on him fighting Wilder.
Okay, so let the trilogy happen, and let's put it to bed, because at the end of the day, Wilder is a guy that has a big name, you know, and he had he was the guy who gave Fury a chance. So even if Fury beat him really bad, just let's go for a trilogy and end it, put it to rest. But don't you think Wilder's better chances are to have big fights against Andy Ruiz, Dylan White, or Povetkin winner, or somebody
Yes, I
like
do.
Joseph Parker? And
Yes, I do.
if he rebuilds against them, can you imagine if Wilder knocks out Joseph Parker? They'll say, you know what? Wilder still can beat everybody else. Do you see where I'm coming from?
He's got to get
Yeah.
his confidence back, man. He's got to get that swagger about himself again, because that's 80% of his shit, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I agree.
He's got to get that ness back about him. He's got to become Wilder again before he can step. He's already mentally broken, man. Like, he's got to rebuild entirely. You got to fucking face that monster again. He's already figured every little bit of your style out. He knows exactly what to do to get to you, man. Like, just like in the last part of the fucking first fight, he figured out the method. In the very last part of that, right when you were getting stopped in the corner, Wilder, Fury was stepping back, coming in with that 1-2. He said, "Oh, this is how I kick his ass." Okay, fucking left hook as I'm coming out. Like, dude, the next couple rounds they fight is gonna be ugly.
Yeah. Can you imagine Wilder if he gets his ass beat again? He's ruined right now, but he'd even be worse off. When Fury came out in that second fight and he ran out to the center of the ring when the bell rang, that shit made my fucking heart jump, because I wasn't expecting that. But he stuck to his word. He said he was going to redline him, and that's what he did.
He told everybody for about 5 months, and even Sugar Hill said to everybody, we're going to change our game style against Wilder. We know Tyson Fury hurt Wilder in the 12th round. And they said, they said, we're very confident that Tyson Fury can take Wilder's power. But we don't know if he will be able to handle the onslaught or the walk down of Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man, it's a shame that things have happened this way. I am a Wilder fan as well. I will not lie to you. I do like Wilder, what he brings to the table. He brings a lot of excitement. And we've never seen a heavyweight who looks like a basketball player, who doesn't have that many skills, but he has an amazing 1-2. He has an amazing punch, right? I do appreciate Wilder, because if there was no Wilder, there wouldn't have been that much excitement in the past about the heavyweights. Wilder has brought the heavyweight scene with Joshua and Fury back in this era after the boring Klitschko's. Am I right?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
The problem is we've never been used to a man who's took a loss like this, who can't take a loss. And now I don't think Wilder's mentally going to be ready for Tyson Fury. That's just my thing. I think if he takes the third fight in 2021, it's very bad. I don't think he's mentally prepared for Tyson Fury anymore. I think he needs to rebuild and get himself mentally back his foundation, get rid of the yes man, build his momentum. Can you imagine if Wilder knocks somebody out, even if it's a top 10 guy now? It'll rebuild the momentum, right? You're going after the boogeyman. Tyson Fury's already shown you that he can beat you twice. And he beat you very decisively the second time. Like, if you put a number 1 and a number 2 of the world together, and you put them in that ring, did that look like number 1 and number 2 in the ring?
No.
That looked like Tyson Fury was the number 1, and that looked like Wilder was a top 30, outside the top 30 fighter, didn't it?
To me, it did, yeah.
So I reckon Wilder now needs to get prepared and get his foundation together and come back for the second coming of Wilder. But I think he should avoid Fury. That's my thoughts. What do you think about that? D
I think he's.
Jefferson in the building. What up, D?
What up, Rapstar? What up, everybody?
What up, D?
Hey, D Jefferson, man, you just missed our brother from London. He wanted to see you, Ropedope. He was trying to see if you was going to come on because you and him predicted the similar thing about the Anthony Joshua fight. And it kind of
Oh
came
yeah,
true.
yeah.
Yeah, we all predicted. You predicted between after 7 or something around 7. He predicted 8 or 9. I predicted 9 and 10. And, you know, how do you think about that fight? Was you impressed?
I think it was a spectacular fight, man. Spectacular fight. I mean, look, man. That's what I was saying about Pulev. You know, he had no chance in that fight. You know what I mean? Look, Rapstar, put that thing right there up on the screen. It's right next, it's right next to say D Jefferson. Just put that in. It's just a screen share. All right, so you see right there, say Anthony Joshua 7-9, and then Nakatani TKO over Felix Verdejo. That's my ticket I put in. I bet that. And I won. I hit that ticket. That's a 2-team parlay. I picked Anthony Joshua 7-9. And then Nakatani right there to beat Felix Verdejo. You see what I mean?
You actually picked Nakatani to win?
By knockout. That's the ticket right there. That's the Bovada ticket right there.
A lot of people had it the other way, D Jefferson.
It was a plus 800, Nakatani to win by knockout, and Anthony Joshua to win between 7 and 9 rounds. So Joshua, and that was a plus 300. So that's how.
Yeah, Nakatani showed nuts last night.
Yeah, let's talk about Nakatani. Do you think Nakatani deserves to be in the top 7 or 8 in the lightweight now?
You can talk about him in the top 10. I mean, I don't know where you can place him. I mean, he definitely right there in the top 10. I mean, he's an interim champion, so we got to start discussing him in the top 10. And Felix Verdejo was considered there, so he just beat somebody who's there, right? So, but again, you know, I didn't hesitate when they mentioned the fight. The first thing I said, Nakatani was going to beat him, and I'm a Felix Verdejo fan, but my whole thing is a reason this kid took Teofimo 12 rounds. It's a reason he took him 12 rounds. And Felix Verdejo was not enough to stop Nakatani. I want to see Nakatani fight Devin Haney. I want to see Devin Haney go through that type of adversity because Devin Haney hasn't had a fight like Masayoshi Nakatani. He hasn't had a fight like that. Gamboa wasn't it. Neither Santiago either.
I like that fight, D.
Yeah, but a lot of people reckon that Devin Haney needs to fight Fortuna or at least Linares or at least somebody within that kind of stature or the mandatory for Luke Campbell and Ryan Garcia. It's about time Devin Haney fights now.
Well, to be fair, Rockstar, Masayoshi Nakatani is in the range of Javier Fortuna and Linares and Luke Campbell even too. Why wouldn't he be? Because he took look, Teofimo is the number 1 guy right now. So he took Teofimo to 12 and he just won the interim championship. So why can't he be mentioned with these guys? He can at every level. And then he's tall. He's tall. That's a problem for these guys. He's 6 foot, right? Verdejo had the same problem with Antonio Lozado. Antonio Lozado. He was 6 foot tall as well. And he stopped Verdejo as well. So these taller fighters, man, they can actually box presents a problem for these guys. This is the 135-pound division. So Nakatani is a problem.
I actually think, D Jefferson, I'm going to have to think out the box now. That's very correct because Nakatani put a good account of himself against Teofimo. So if Devin Haney wants to prove to the world that he wants to fight Teofimo, why not fight a common opponent with an opponent which gave Teofimo a good fight? Why not fight Nakatani? Devin Haney actually is a good fight. If Devin Haney takes the Nakatani fight, that shows me Devin Haney's chasing Teofimo. Does that make sense? Because you've got a common opponent there that you can actually show the boxing world that your style might beat Nakatani in a better fashion. Well, show us then, innit? Don't just fucking keep sitting there saying that you want Teofimo. Fight someone who's like in the top 5 or at least an opponent who gave Teofimo a good fight. Yeah, I think it's a very, very good calculation. I mean, it's a risk as well. Devin Haney will be putting up his WBC title. Nakatani only got interim title, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, but not for the WBO. I mean, the WBC though.
Yeah, the WBC title will be on the line against Nakatani. Now, what I think personally, you got to remember this. Is Nakatani going to give Devin Haney all the momentum? And most casual fans don't know who Nakatani is. So, at the end of the day, this is just for the hardcores. If Devin Haney fights Nakatani, I mean, it'll just do something for him to show that he's chasing Teofimo Lopez. I mean, anything else, they wouldn't want nothing to do with Nakatani.
That's if he beats Nakatani. But
Yeah,
see, there lies a question. Because listen, Devin Haney went 12 rounds with Gamboa. I guarantee you Nakatani beats Gamboa. I would guarantee that right there, number one. But Devin Haney went 12 rounds with him. But this is the thing. If he beats Nakatani would literally be Devin Haney's highest level of competition at 135. He would not have faced anyone that dangerous. Not that tall. He's going to be taller than Devin Haney. This time, Devin Haney's not going to enjoy the reach advantage. They have the same reach, right? But he's taller. So there's a lot of things Haney's going to have to worry about. This kid got a good jab, a good 1-2, and when he starts loosening his hands up, he definitely has power because it's not just Felix Verdell he stopped. He had a 70% knockout ratio before he fought Teofimo Lopez. So he was used to stopping guys.
So how would you expect the Nakatani Devin Haney fight to go, as what you've seen from both of them today, up to date? Do you think Devin Haney has a style to outpoint Nakatani and stay away from the pop, or do you think that the only chance Devin Haney has is to outbox Nakatani, because Nakatani is the fighter who could probably stop Haney? Is that what you're thinking?
No, I would pick Haney over Nakatani.
You would.
I don't slight Devin Haney just because I'm a Teofimo fan. I don't think he necessarily beats Teofimo, but that's a good fight with Nakatani. I'm just saying that's a good step up. That's a good fight for him to prove. But I do think that this is a fight that he could prove that. I think that he could get past Nakatani. It wouldn't be easy, but Devin Haney can box, and then he can box from a distance. He's fast. He's got fast feet, so he can get away. But it'll be an interesting fight because Nakatani, he's long and rangy. He's also got fast feet, so it will be interesting fight. But I would have to say Devin Haney by point.
Okay, so if you was going to pick the prediction league, you would have Devin Haney winning on unanimous decision on that one.
This decision. I would just put decision. I don't know unanimous because it could be a split decision win or majority decision. So Nakatani could give him really good problems. Really good problems.
Okay, D. Jefferson, before we leave this building soon, there's been a lot of topics going back and forth, and we were very we were a little bit, how do you call it? We was on the hype train yesterday, and some of us got emotional after the Anthony Joshua win. Because we was happy to see Anthony Joshua go in there and demolish Pulev and have meaningful hate in those punches. And then afterwards, he said, "I'm ready for Tyson Fury." Now, yesterday, I was one of those people who was a bit drunk, and I came on and said, "Yes, we're ready for Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. It's a 50-50 fight." But today, after waking up, realizing that it's not a 50-50, bro. I'm favoring Tyson Fury in that fight, and I don't think it's a 50-50. And we've had loads of AJ fans coming in here saying AJ beats Fury with that performance. Can you let everybody know what you think about AJ right now and Tyson Fury if that fight happens in 2021?
I always thought that those two guys were the only two guys. Not always, but here in the past couple of years, I've just often thought that those two guys were the only. If it's going to be somebody to beat AJ, it'll probably be Fury, and if it's going to be somebody to beat Fury, it'll most likely be AJ. And I don't think that the Pulev fight swayed my opinion on that. I still believe AJ could beat Fury. And of course, I believe Fury could beat AJ because I would be picking him. But it's a really interesting fight. It's good. It's a reason why that's the biggest fight in the heavyweight division because it's coming down to the two guys that's pretty much better than the other guys, and so we got to see which one of these two guys will win that. And I think that's just what it is. I don't think Pulev, to be perfectly honest, is any more different than Wilder. To tell you the truth, like it's not going to change my opinion on AJ and Fury. I think those two guys need to get in the ring and answer those questions. I think AJ, all of these haters out here fucking saying stuff about the performance. Look, man, it was a spectacular performance. You can have your criticisms. You can say what he needs to do better. But while you're saying all that, you need to say it was a fantastic performance.
No, I don't. What's up, D? I just got back. It's not a fantastic performance, bro. I'm sorry.
It was. Well, look, I'm gonna. You know already that I'm gonna have a live on this, but I'll give you a taste right here. I'll give you a taste right here, Jay. It was an absolute fantastic performance because it was things that we're not accustomed to seeing with AJ. It is things that people have criticized him for his entire career. And what we're watching here is a guy evolve. And we can keep criticizing guys and keep criticizing guys. But what was he supposed to do? When he got Alexander Povetkin hurt, okay, he showed patience. He was impatient for a second there, and then he backed off. He showed patience because this is, to me, that's just a sign of learning from your previous mistakes, which is what we want boxers to do. When he hurt Andy Ruiz, he got impatient, he got hurt, and he couldn't recover. This time, when he hurts Pulev, he readjusts. See, that's the sign of boxers doing what boxers are supposed to do. And he beat this man in a one-sided fight to a stoppage.
Did he readjust?
Hold on, fam. Hold on.
He was gassed, dude.
Hold on, Jay. This is what we asked for. This is what we asked for from fighters. That's the type of fight we asked for. So when AJ delivers that type of fight, when he delivers that, man, don't need to come up with all of this bullshit about why I wasn't. And I'm not saying you in particular because other people feel that way. I'm just saying I don't think there's no need to come up with a bunch of bullshit about why it wasn't this or why it wasn't that. It was absolutely grand. And what other fighter right now is putting on a performance like that in the heavyweight division? What other fighter?
Fury.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's absolutely not. He put on that type of show against Wilder. Okay. Yeah. But okay, Fury's my guy. So I'm not even gonna go for this bullshit. He put on that show against Wilder. Okay, fine. The first fight wasn't that kind of show. The fight with Valeen wasn't that kind of show. Come on, like Fury's not. AJ's putting on this type of show. No, Fury's not. And especially when you talk about Wilder who's limited, come on, bro. Like, nah, man. AJ put on a spectacular performance. And again, nobody at the heavyweight division, people all this yakking on and on and on about Alexander Usyk skills. That performance against Chisora wasn't like that. That wasn't that type of performance that Usyk, this great boxer, this God-given gift to the heavyweight division, the way people act now.
Chisora had punch resistance.
No, it doesn't matter, fam. My thing is this: they're praising Usyk, talking about. I was just on another panel, and it was 3 people on the panel talking that Usyk is going to beat Joshua.
Nah, man.
Okay, well, see, this is the shit that I'm saying. So that performance with Chisora, that wasn't spectacular. What Joshua gave us at the heavyweight division, if you're going to be honest, and we're watching all of these heavyweight fights, that was a spectacular performance. It was boxing to a stoppage. And I don't think it's anything to be criticized. Man, people need to stop this with Joshua. I don't think he beats Fury either. I'm a Fury guy. I think Fury beats him. But I think he can beat Fury. And I think that performance is a testament. It should be a testament to say that he could beat Fury. Not that he will, but he could.
So before D. Jefferson says that, you know, I want to come back to you. The only way I see Fury losing to Joshua is getting knocked out. I don't see Anthony Joshua outboxing Fury at all. I'll say that the only way Anthony Joshua can beat Tyson Fury is if he hurts him on the inside and comes in with some meaningful combos and takes him out and really puts him to sleep. That's the only chance I give Anthony Joshua. Am I being too harsh?
No, I think that's the entire fight. Actually, Rapstar. I don't think that you're being too harsh, and I don't think it's a thing where it's just a puncher's chance because Joshua has enough skill behind him to get the knockout, and Fury has enough skill to outbox Joshua and not allow himself to be knocked out. And there lies the fight. That's what makes the fight so interesting. So yeah, I think Joshua will only win by stopping Fury, and he very well can. And I think Fury will only win by not allowing Joshua to stop him and outbox him, which he very well can. And that's why this fight is so intriguing. It's not one of these fights where you got this guy that's so overskilled and this big muscle guy just has a puncher's chance. No, it's not that type of fight. Joshua has enough skill to implement his threat. You know, not just stand there and wait for the 1-2 like Wilder. No, you know, I hope there's no Wilder fans in here, but that's not that type of situation. This is a guy that can box. You know, he can move. He showed hand movement last night, so people give him his credit. And so this is a guy who can work his way into Fury. So it makes it really interesting. Fury, one thing I will say this because I am praising Joshua, but remember, nobody's above criticism or below praise. But to the criticism part, it was another example of what I said before, which people got to think about Fury. Joshua does not have a good clinch game. And that was evident again in the Povetkin fight last night. His clinch game is not great. And Fury is one of the best at it and the tallest and the heaviest doing it. And that's just going to be a factor because I don't say that Joshua gassed because I heard you for a second there, Jay Blues. He wasn't gassing, but look, when you're winging a lot of punches and you go to take a guy out, even in, let's say, the super middleweight division, a lot of guys take a round off. They lay back and just make sure they win the round and let that stamina come back. That's nothing.
He took like 3 or 4 though, D.
Nah, he did. No, he didn't. I did commentary on the fight. No, he didn't. No, he did. That's the narrative going around, but no, he didn't. That's not even what I seen in the ring, fam. I can't agree with that.
I mean, fair enough. But he started to look like the first Ruiz fight. He was flat-footed. He was huffing and puffing. He looked like shit in the 5th and 6th round. Then all of a sudden he rallies to a 4th round stoppage, and everybody says, "Amazing, tremendous, fantastic." Like I can't go with that, man. Like I'll rewatch the fight and come back with another assessment. But I'm gonna be honest, dude. That was some shit. Like he got stifled by the most minimal amount of pressure from Pulev and couldn't get off on him until the 3rd round. And the first time he fucking fired on him, bro, he hurt him. Yeah. And gassed out trying to get him and had to take off, like you said. I mean, I just don't see it as anything good, man. Like Fury's gonna eat him up.
Well, I think Fury has his own dangers to worry about because Joshua will take it to the body, and also I think physically Joshua is probably the stronger guy. So a lot of the time, Fury, you know, it's a difference between physical strength and punching power. People get it confused. So I think Fury's physically stronger than a lot of these guys. He does grab a hold of them and, you know, clinch them up. You know, that's where a lot of the strength plays a part. They can't pull away and all of that. Joshua was physically stronger than Fury. And, you know, although Fury's really smart in the clinch, he's got problems because when a guy can break away, that makes him dangerous to catch you with a punch. Also, Fury gets caught from the mid-range, and that damn mid-range uppercut Joshua has is dangerous, man. I said before the fight, right here on Rapstar, I said, and I know you remember Rapstar, I said, Anthony Joshua is going to get Pulev, Kubrat Pulev in trouble with that uppercut, and then he could stop him with the jab and the right hook. And I'll be goddamn if he ain't get him in trouble with that uppercut and stop him with the jab right hook. I'm telling you, man, you can see these things coming. If you're watching the boxing, you can see these things coming. And you know, this is a really intriguing fight with Joshua and Fury. I think either of these guys can win this fight. I'm just leaning toward Fury because I do see some things with Joshua which I'm not going to go over because I don't want it to appear that I'm hating on Joshua. But even still, Fury is my guy, and I've given Joshua the praise he deserves. But I still think Fury beats him.
Some people say this though. I've got a message here that Tyson Fury took the biggest shots from Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury, when he was younger, he got hit with Steve Cunningham and without even seeing that shot. They said that these kind of punches Fury took, he woke up like the Undertaker. So what makes you say that the Anthony Joshua punch Tyson Fury probably can take that and come back better? I mean, we haven't seen Tyson Fury's resistance seems to be really good. What do you say to that?
Those guys hit him with one punch. That's it. That's the thing. They couldn't really land much on him. They hit him with one punch. Joshua's going to hit him with an accumulation of punches. But Fury, I agree with the guys that saying Fury does have a good chance. In that second fight with Wilder, he took 3 of those right hands. One of them he rolled, but 2 of them Wilder caught him clean. Boom, boom. And Fury, came back forward. Come on, let's go. So it's not like this that he's some chinny guy. The Cunningham shit, yeah, that was a punch you don't see. This is the heavyweight division. When you get clipped with one of those punches you don't see, the guy doesn't have to be the biggest knockout puncher. That's a punch that you don't see in the heavyweight division. So, yeah, Fury got caught by that. Whatever. Whoop-de-doo. The thing is this. He doesn't have a glass chin, but AJ is going to hit him more than just this one pop-out by Wilder or, this flash
So can I
by
explain what
Cunningham.
D. Jefferson is saying is what I said earlier. Now, let me break it down. So when you see Anthony Joshua, he doesn't go in with one punch. He goes in with a flurry of 2 or 3 hateful punches, right?
Yeah, it's
And if he can get,
accumulation, yeah.
yeah, that's what D. Jefferson's telling you, that the IQ of Anthony Joshua is different to a Deontay Wilder. If Anthony Joshua gets a punch, he goes in for a combo. And if he can hurt you with a combo, he can get you with an uppercut. So, Anthony Joshua has got a lot of arsenal in his attacks. Once he's feeling meaningful and he feels confident, he will get you out of there. Now, we're not saying that Wilder doesn't do that, but what we're saying is Anthony Joshua is more educated and he will take those punches like D. Jefferson said. He'll roll in there with 2, 3, 4 combos and try and fucking take you the fuck out of there. You know what I mean? So maybe Tyson Fury can take a punch, but can he take consistent punches? Can he take like a combination of punches? What do you think of that? Anyone, next person, whoever.
He gets out of trouble. He'll get out of trouble quicker, though. I mean, he won't set himself up to be around for those fucking combos. So, listen, I see Fury as number 1, AJ being 2, but I think the distance between that 1 and 2 is far. Fury is way better than AJ. Yes, AJ has the best chance to beat him, but I just think Fury's a lot better.
Yeah, but you got to appreciate Fury hasn't been in with somebody who can give you a combination of punches. With her,
like I said, I don't think he's going to stick around to get hit with those combos. And if he does, I mean, he might lose. There's always a chance, but I just think Fury is he's a different guy, and he won't stick around to get hit with those combos.
And once AJ
won't be there, you just don't think Fury will be there when Anthony Joshua wants him to be there. He just won't be there.
He's going to get out of trouble.
Hell no,
he's going to get out of trouble or throw some punches to get out of trouble.
Yeah, so let me jump in here with my man there because look, check this out, fam. Let's not get it twisted. I'm an AJ fan. Now I always try to be objective. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm a Fury fan. So I always try to be objective and respectful to AJ and all of that. But as I said, I believe my dude Tyson Fury beats him too. And I'm with my man here. Look, AJ Look, from the first Andy Ruiz fight to the second fight, AJ and his camp noticed something simple about Andy Ruiz, that he doesn't cut the ring off well. They figured that out really simply. And they did a phenomenal, I mean, absolutely phenomenal training on footwork. But what he has improved with his footwork, Fury has naturally. So this is going to be another problem. And let's not sit here and
Yeah,
act like footwork doesn't matter in boxing, because it most certainly does. And so I agree with this. Fury's elusive. I'm not saying he doesn't get hit or he's invincible. He's no fucking Mayweather or nothing. But in the heavyweight division, he is mobile and he's elusive. So these guys that AJ is standing there is fucking like a brick stone throwing some fucking jab. Now it's not gonna be like that. Fury's gonna be jabbing him, circling out to the left, and then pivoting back to the right and hitting with another jab, and then hitting him with some herky-jerky fucking feints, or hitting him with a jab from the distance. Like Fury's not gonna be standing there. He gets off what they call center line, fam. So yeah, please don't get me started. This is why I think he's going to beat Anthony Joshua. I just think that Anthony Joshua has what it takes to beat Tyson Fury, and a lot of these other champions they don't. They don't even have what it takes. They're not the type of guy that I say, okay, well, he be the one to beat Fury. And I look at these guys and I'm like, no, no, no. And then I look at Anthony Joshua, okay, well, he be the one that would beat Fury. Possibly,
I,
yes. This is the guy that can do it. That's the guy
I
that can
agree.
beat him. But I'm going to pick Tyson Fury to win that fight.
I'm gonna say something now because I know D Jefferson knows what I'm gonna knows all the fighters from the past. I think Lennox Lewis gives a better fight to Tyson Fury than Anthony Joshua. I think Lennox
I
Lewis
agree.
all round can do something to Tyson Fury better than Anthony Joshua because Lennox Lewis he was mentally prepared for everyone, and Lennox Lewis has all good skills all round, and I think Anthony Joshua doesn't have that same skill set like Lennox Lewis. That's what I think. What do you think about that,
I
D?
agree with that.
Nobody does,
Well,
man.
Lennox Lewis is, yeah. I mean, see, the era of boxing starts to play into effect then now too, because the level of competition and shit, right? And who Lennox had to fight against, and you know, listen, remember, Lennox Lewis got knocked out too, right? And came back and got back to glory,
Facts.
right? But Lennox Lewis got knocked out way worse than Joshua, but he still came back. And in that era, so yeah, I do believe Lennox would have given him a lot more of an issue because he's not. He's Lennox is 6'5", so although Tyson still has that height, and that would play a fact, he got that height and that reach because Lennox is 6'5", and you know, got an 84-inch reach, but you got long arms, but then it's that jab, man, and just the level of competition he was used to facing. That's the thing. Like level competition matters because you fight the better guys, then generally you're gonna be prepared to fight the better competition, right? Well, Tyson don't got it around him. He don't got those guys around him, and he hasn't fought the guy around him who could probably compete, which is Joshua. But look at the guys he's fought already. You know what I mean? Wilder's dangerous for his own reasons, but he's not that level of competition of the guys Lennox was facing. You fucking damn sure ain't McDermott or Schwartz or Safari or any of these fuckers. You know what I mean? So, no, I would have to say Lennox, man, was another animal, man. That dude, he was another animal.
And his size is comparable to Fury's. Like, the
Yeah,
height
yeah,
don't really mean
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was a damn Sasquatch, man. Look at his torso. Look at his arms. Look at his shoulders. Like Lennox was a giant Tommy Hearns, man.
My problem is this. I don't know about you guys. I reckon Tyson Fury can see AJ's punches coming from a mile. I think Tyson
Oh
Fury
yeah.
can see. I see the problem is I see Tyson Fury. He can see all the onslaught coming from the attack from AJ. I think AJ is not prepared for what Tyson Fury is going to come back and actually, what he has in his arsenal. I think Tyson Fury is so unpredictable. It's hard to train for him, bro. It's going to be fucking hard to train for Tyson Fury. But for training for AJ, you can get sparring partners who can mimic AJ. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I agree with that.
Yeah, this is going to be a matchup for the world. But I'm going to tell you this right now, D. Jefferson. A lot of people think it's 50-50. And I think the reason why they think it's 50-50 is that they say AJ's resume is much better than Tyson Fury. Now, how do you feel about that?
I mean, overall level of competition, um, AJ has that, but the two reigning champions, Fury has that, you know. And then when you get to that point, it's just like what they've done in the ring and what they bring to the table. And people that say it's 50-50, I can't argue with that, man. I'd say 60-40 because, again, I picked Fury, but I can't argue with a 50-50 ideal. I can't even really argue with somebody that picks AJ to win because I think he could beat him. So if you're an AJ fan and you looking at what AJ offers and you say he'll win, I ain't gonna get mad at that. It's just my opinion is, Fury wins. There's things and again, I'm gonna do a breakdown and all that, so I don't want to get too deep into it, but there's things that I see that Fury offers that it's hard for me to see get around. And not the other way around. Because Joshua does offer problems to Fury, but I've seen him get around these problems, and I know that he can get around these problems. But he offers some issues to Joshua where I can't figure out how Joshua is going to get around these issues, and that's why I picked Fury to win.
So basically, like we said, the Tyson Fury brings too many problems in that ring for Anthony Joshua. I think Anthony Joshua, this is between me and you guys and the chat. I think Anthony Joshua will mentally give up in that fight in the ring. And then it's over. Because when you can't do anything against a fighter for everything you train for and all the best attributes you've got, I think mentally you will be defeated by Tyson Fury in that ring.
Why would we go to the mental rap star? My thing is this with Anthony Joshua. And remember, rap star, I said this before the Pulev fight. I don't I don't really get where people's questioning his mental because the first thing people run to is the Ruiz fight. But after the Ruiz fight, a day after, he drops this video, tells his fans, stop making excuses for me. I'm going back to the drawing board, gonna do some soul searching, and I'm gonna get my belts back. That's mental strength, man. Not making excuses for the fight, telling your fans don't make excuses for me. Vow to get your belts back. Go in there and get it accomplished. Change up your game, become a more fluent boxer. Man, I don't see mental weakness. Even his resume says there is no mental weakness. If we're going to talk about someone's mental, let's be honest. If anybody has shown the mental lapse here, it ain't fucking AJ, it's Fury. This motherfucker broke down mentally totally and left boxing. Now, I'm a Fury fan, but I'm just being honest about it. I think this whole mental attack on AJ, I don't know where this assault has come from, but between the two of these two guys we call the best, if there's anybody's mental who should be questioned, it should be my guy Fury's. It should not be AJ's because it takes nothing but mental fortitude to fight the better guys. Look at his resume. Fury ain't doing it. He fights the big guys and he fights lower level competition in between. But AJ fights the best guys. Okay? That's what he does. And he's been doing it since the Vladimir Klitschko, which was the best guy at the time. AJ's been seeking the best guys since Klitschko. Everybody starts their career off fighting trash. Most people, like everybody's not Lomachenko. So most people starts their career off fighting guys that's just in the damn gym that has a boxing license, right? You can't even really call them boxers. So everybody starts off doing that. But after Klitschko, AJ has fought nothing but valid opponents. And he is the only one in the heavyweight division that has done that. That's a fact. Okay. So that takes mental fortitude, right? To keep getting up off the fucking ground when somebody's knocking you down takes mental fortitude. And then to come back and beat that guy takes even more mental fortitude, not making any excuses along the way. But then to get at the pinnacle of where you want to be in boxing and throw it all away and leave for 2.5 years and admit that you had mental issues. That's the guy we should look at mentally. What is all this shit about AJ? And it's not just you, Rasta. I just keep hearing this. And I was saying this before the fight. what is all of this shit about AJ's mental? I don't think his mental should be in question. It should be our guy Fury's. Now, I don't have a question about Fury's mental because I think that's just people condemning him for the past. People say they changed, they change. Let them give them a chance to say they changed. So I don't have the question about Fury's mental. I'm just saying if there is going to be questions in this fight, I don't think AJ's given us anything to question him, and Fury has given us everything to question him.
I've got an answer for that, and my answer for that is this: I don't think AJ is mentally weak, but I think Ruiz definitely has put AJ in that mentality on being cautious. I think Ruiz showed AJ that he needs to be a little bit more cautious, and what people think of that, it looks like he gets scared in the fights, like he fights different. I don't think that's a mental thing. I think that's just him improving himself. And if you fight a little bit more cautious, I think that does make you a better fighter. So I think D. Jefferson's trying to define that. That maybe if you think it looks mentally weak because of the way that he came back to win against Ruiz and stayed long to try and win a 12-round decision because he didn't think he could knock him out, they say that looks mentally weak. But I think that's just cautious for trying to upgrade his fighting style and trying to help himself as a boxer. But I think when they both go in the ring, Fury will mentally drain him in that ring through being lost in the ring. That's what I mean, D. Jefferson. I think that's where the thing will come to hit Anthony Joshua. I think that's where all the questions need to be answered in Anthony Joshua's soul. Is that can he deal with an unpredictable style of Tyson Fury? I think when you mentally give up in the ring against Fury, you lost that fight. And I think Tyson Fury has the skill set to mentally make you give up in the ring. Not outside the ring, but in the ring.
Well, yeah, I do. I mean, I hear that, but I don't think it'll be a mental breakdown. I just don't think he can stop Tyson Fury's assault, his boxing. He can't get around it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's his mental game. Like, I think AJ's okay mentally. He's fine. He's fine. Like, I don't think he'll break down mentally. I just don't think he'll be able to get it done. Like, you get to a point where you're in a fight. Of course, it's going to be a 12-round fight. You're in the ninth round. Ninth round's getting ready to end, and Fury's got you up 6-3. Now you got to knock him out. You're not going to be able to get it done. You're going to try. You're going to try to the 12th. I think he'll be mentally strong to the 12th. Fury will win a couple of more rounds, maybe even the last 3, and you're going to lose a 9-3 fight. It's just going to go down like that. You know what I mean? You don't have enough to get it done.
Right. And so let's just touch on this before we move to this subject. I never asked G. Jefferson about the Shakur Stevenson performance, but on Fury and AJ fight, yeah, are we saying that right now in skill set, we know Tyson Fury has better skills, but as in combination punching and hard, meaningful punches, we're giving it to AJ. Is that correct?
Yeah, because AJ hits him with 3 or 4 good combinations in the first round. He hits him with 1 or 2 in the second round. Bro, you get down into the 8th and 9th round, and Fury's been taking them down combinations. That in the 9th round, that last punch is going to feel like that Wilder punch. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but I honestly see in the first 2 or 3 rounds, man, AJ getting frustrated, being made to miss, and either by the 3rd round he either stops throwing and gets frozen inside of a shell and starts getting beat on, or gets desperate and reaches for shit and gets caught. Like, some shit's gonna happen 3rd or 4th round in that fight, man. Like,
hey man, look, again, this is my guy, Fury. So I'm not going to sit here and argue that AJ is going to beat Fury. I'm just trying to give ways that AJ can beat Fury. Right?
yeah.
So, I mean, no, I agree with you guys. I think Fury is too much. Like I said, I don't think he can get it done. When you show me problems like, see, these are my analysis here. It's not about his heart or his chin or nothing. But when you show me problems at getting inside on certain guys, even guys that you've knocked out, when you show me that it's taking you a certain amount of time to get to these guys, it's going to take you 3 times that amount of time to get to Fury, and you don't have that many rounds. You know what I mean? So if it's taking you 9 rounds to get into Pulev, 12 ain't enough, man. You see what I mean? That's where I'm coming from. And it don't have anything to do with his mental. It don't have nothing to do with his stamina. It just has to do with my inside of the ring analysis. He doesn't have enough to get the job done with the Tyson Fury. Just because he punches hard, like, stop this. No, I don't think Joshua has enough. And I think my dude Fury is going to beat him. It's a reason he says, I'm going to box your head off, you Dosa. Because he's going to box his head off.
Box your face off, you bum Dosa. I don't think he's going to get a chance to punch him. He's going to get so overwhelmed, dude. Like, his senses are going to be on fire. And like I said earlier, he's going to tense up when he needs to be loose. And he's just going to hold his fucking breath. And he's going to be exhausted by the 3rd or 4th round.
Okay, I've got a lot of questions here. I want to ask you simple questions now. Is it bad for boxing if Tyson Fury beats AJ in like our brothers are saying? If Tyson Fury beats AJ in quick fashion, will it be devastating for boxing? Because we know what Tyson Fury's like. He's going to say, fuck all the belts, I don't want them anymore. People said for boxing, yeah? People said for boxing, it's really bad if Tyson Fury beats Anthony Joshua easy. What do you think?
No, it won't be bad for boxing, but nobody fret. That's not going to happen. Tyson Fury wins. Look, it ain't going to be no damn Deontay Wilder situation, because you guys got to think about this. What Tyson Fury did to Deontay Wilder was limited to Deontay Wilder. He did that because him and his corner knew that he could do that to Wilder. He's not going to attack Anthony Joshua like that because it would be stupid for him to do that. He's going to box Anthony Joshua. Let's not try to turn Tyson Fury into a guy that's going to go in there and stop guys.
What if he tries to, though? What if he tries to leave?
No, he's going to get knocked out. He's going to get knocked out. Trust me.
I think he could do it if he wanted to.
Yeah, man. I think he's going to step to him like he did Deontay and just whoop his ass.
And this is what people are saying, D. Jefferson. They're saying that if Tyson Fury beats our Anthony Joshua in London badly, it's going to fuck our fucking boxing up.
Man, look. I beg to differ. Listen, let me tell you something, man. No fucking way. I analyze these fights too goddamn close. Now, every time Jay Blues, you already know it. Ain't you in the league, Jay Blues?
Nah, I don't think into it like that, man. I just watch it.
Oh, okay. Man, let me tell y'all something, bro. Hell no. Y'all don't even understand the rate that I'm picking these fights correctly. Like, the ratio. Like, seriously, no fucking way he gets in there and demolishes AJ early. No way. No way.
Hey, D, one question. Did you see T.O. outboxing Loma?
Yeah, I seen it. Look, I didn't see it going to a decision. I thought that Teofimo would stop him. But the way he boxed Loma, yeah, I seen that. I seen that.
You just said you had him stopping him.
Yeah, listen, Jay Blues, listen to me. The way I seen Teofimo boxing Lomachenko, I seen that. But the reason Lomachenko didn't get stopped is because he didn't engage the way I thought Lomachenko would engage. I thought he would go in there and try to abuse the kid, use his angles and stuff. But he was way too cautious. A guy that's not allowing you to even engage, it's harder to knock him out, right? He didn't do enough in the first 6 rounds. So, but if Lomachenko, let's be honest, if Lomachenko had opened up earlier, I think Teofimo would have stopped him.
He would have got caught with something, definitely.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man, there's so many variables that are unforeseen and so many circumstances that can pop up. So until the night of the fight, nobody really knows what the fuck's going to happen. But I'm not saying that you don't know you should.
Because Fury's already told everybody. He goes, when I go back to Anthony Joshua, I don't give a fuck. I'm the man. And he goes, the only thing I want to do after that, he goes, I'm going to go to UFC and beat the best ever UFC heavyweight. So Fury, what I want to know is Fury talks crazy and the boxing hardcore people are upset because if he wins and he fucking makes our division look like shit and he moves on, is that bad for boxing?
Nah,
It's not. He's not making the division look like shit, man. Everybody takes the negative connotation to it. Look, if Fury wins all the belts, he just did something great for
I was about to
UK.
say, it's an
For the
example
UK,
of greatness.
he just did something great for the UK. He just
Yeah, but
delivered
AJ
the
fans
UK.
are in the building. No. AJ
Rashford.
fans are in the building right now. They said that Anthony Joshua wins. It's good dignity for boxing. If Anthony Joshua wins, it saves boxing.
What the
That's
fuck?
what they said.
Say it. Joshua saves boxing.
They said that it
Listen,
saves
man.
that fans.
What
Like
the fuck?
they said that he'll still stay in boxing. He'll still fight for titles while Tyson Fury will do crazy stuff and say he don't give a fuck anymore. So they say
Well,
Anthony Joshua will bring more fans to boxing if he wins. Talk on that, D. Jefferson.
Okay, well, that's why you ain't let me finish, but okay, that's fine. That's cool. Because they kind of changed the question. At first the question was, would it be bad for boxing? And I was just saying no. Now if you're asking me now if it would be better if AJ was the 4-belt undisputed or if Tyson Fury was the 4-belt undisputed, if you're talking to me about character now, I would say yes, of course. A guy with the character like AJ, he definitely strikes me as the guy that's going to stick around and finish that list he and his uncle started. Because he said he would do it, and I believe that he would do it. He would win 4-belt undisputed and then go to mark those other top heavyweights off the list. As Tyson Fury, as I've said on my own live, I don't know what y'all thinking, but Tyson Fury might win 4-belt undisputed and then go sign with Vince McMahon and go fight in the WWE. Okay, and so I realize this.
That fucks boxing up, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's in Alieville right now, man. He's fighting fucking Antonio Inoki. He is just fucking around, man. Like this is his big fight. Like this is the biggest fight of his career. But trust me, if he beats AJ, bro, he is gonna turn into super legend. You already seen it happen after he beat Wilder. Like something changed. Something came over Tyson, bro.
He's become a superstar now. WWE wants him. Dana White is trying to make a deal with him. D. Jefferson. Dana White says that if you win the undisputed, we'll make a huge. They're looking to pay him 50 to 100 million to fight one of their best heavyweights in UFC. And these talks are going on. And I'm gonna not lie to you. British fans don't like it. British fans are like, "Fuck you. We want Anthony Joshua to win. He's the ambassador for the sport. He has more dignity. He's humble." People said that Anthony Joshua is the all-round person that they want. They want him in boxing. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think Anthony Joshua is a bigger ambassador when it comes to sponsors, crowd pleaser, and these kind of things are people looking at. They say if Tyson Fury demolishes Anthony Joshua, it's the end of the heavyweight game. What do you think of that?
Why? Because AJ's a fucking model and Fury's a fat bearded bald man.
Fury don't give a fuck.
He's got 10 times the personality that robot ever does, and he could sell anything better than AJ can. So I don't even get that argument.
Because Fury is the sort of guy who will say, "Fuck the belts. I don't give a fuck about your belts anymore." And Anthony Joshua will.
He might, but he might not, man. Like you just
bro, look. I think this shit. These fans, these Anthony Joshua fans, are getting out of control. Now, let me bring y'all motherfuckers back down to earth here. This is the sport of boxing. Anthony Joshua is a great heavyweight in this era, but he is not the sport of boxing. He is not even the sport of heavyweight boxing. You guys look at around the heavyweight division. We have guys to take over after these guys leave. We do. We have guys that's exciting to watch. It doesn't stop with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. If Tyson Fury gets the belts, he vacates them all. They get scattered around again. Good. Now we can see what the Joe Joyces and the Hergovich and the Majmadovs and the young Ryan Anderson coming up and the F.A. Dagwas. It's going to be a new line of guys to come in here and start fighting for the belts. Can Dillian White finally get his hand on one? And so forth and so on. It's not going to stop, fam. Okay, it's not going to end. It's not going to be the end of the world. Will it be better if Joshua wins all four belts? Yes, I can emphatically say yes for
Yes,
the
I believe.
sake of the heavyweight division. For the guy, he's well spoken. You know, he can talk in
Yes.
the media. So yes, it will be better for boxing, heavyweight boxing, if he wins. But it's not the end of anything if he doesn't.
I mean, it'll be at least about 3-4 years until the new heavyweights, or 2 years, or maybe even 18 months to 2 years until the new names come and maybe take it. But you know, this man
That's
came.
not true, Rapstar. All of these people, look, Rapstar, that's not true, bro. All of these
Tell me
people are
why. Okay,
clamoring on and
I'm
on
gonna tell
about.
you why, and then you
Okay,
can tell
listen,
me why.
listen.
Go ahead.
All of these people are hollering about Alexander Usyk right now. So if Tyson Fury and freaking Joshua flutter off into the sunset, you got Alexander Usyk already
Alexander
here.
Usyk can't do shit at heavyweight.
Well, look, that's
He
the
doesn't look like
intrigue
he
of it.
fucking even belongs in the heavyweight D, my
Okay,
brother.
well, look, y'all talking about Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua not being a factor. Now let's talk about if Alexander Usyk belongs there. See, this is why it makes it interesting. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury are two boxers, man. You're gonna have more stars. You're gonna have more people of interest. Look at what they were making of Daniel Dubois before he just got stopped from Bill Doyle. You had fucking idiots running around talking about he could beat Anthony Joshua. You're always gonna have these people pumped up, and then there's going to be that next guy that's going to come through and prove it. I'm telling you now, the
Yeah.
American,
They better
American
prove it, because if they don't, it'll be loser against loser. It'll be Wilder against Joshua because Tyson Fury's moved on. And then Wilder and Joshua have to fight for who's the number one guy again. Go ahead.
and that will sell, and that will sell. So I mean, it's going to be okay. All I'm saying is these Joshua fans, the way I'm hearing it is, if Tyson get it, it's over. The boxing, no, it's going to be okay. If Tyson get it, and if he vacates, it's going to be okay.
So you don't think it damages boxing by Tyson winning?
No, bro. It doesn't damage anything. The only thing it does, look, like I said, it will be better if AJ wins it. I'm not saying that it wouldn't, but if Tyson wins it, no, it doesn't damage anything because even in their example of Tyson Fury leaving and vacating the belts, to me, right there and simple, that doesn't damage anything. Even if he does get it and he leaves and vacates the belt, the heavyweight division will still be fine.
Hey, it
But the
gave
whole
you the AJ
hold on, Jay,
Klitschko
hold on, Jay,
fight.
hold on, Jay. But the whole idea of that Tyson Fury would do that, that's just their speculation. They don't know if Tyson Fury will have 3 or 4 more fights. They have no fucking clue of this. They're just saying that he'll do that based on some shit he did a while ago, right? They holding him accountable for that. So if any of you fuckers holding Tyson Fury accountable for that, any of you guys that have somebody that went to jail or rehab or anything like that, you got to hold them accountable today for the same bullshit, which you probably don't. So if somebody did something in the past, leave it in the fucking past, and let's just see what Tyson Fury is going to do. Y'all don't fucking know if he's just going to throw the belts away. I make a joke that he'll relinquish the belts and go to WWE. But who the fuck knows if he's going to do that? So if Tyson Fury stayed around for 3 or 4 more fights, then everything they say would be completely wrong.
Hey, BJ London says, speak your mind, sports. I think your glass is half full, man. Laugh out loud. Look, these are AJ fans. AJ fans are AJ fans, and they said they're not interested in Fury if he beats AJ because Fury's not got a lot of antics outside the ring. He doesn't have that humbleness. He doesn't have that dignity. They want Anthony Joshua to win because Anthony Joshua is an all-round poster boy. He's an ambassador. He's got Range Rover. He's got Jaguar. He's got
Who
armor.
gives a fuck about that?
But all these
It's about what happens in the
let
ring,
me
man.
speak. D. Jefferson knows what I'm talking about. The money and the corporations are interested in him winning, not
Bro, it's like this.
Fury.
It's like this with the fans, though, Rapstar. Right? Like, honestly. And I always say this with this sentimental shit. Let me tell
They're
you
all
guys
over
something.
here right now, so you can talk to them. They're in the building.
I am talking to them. All of you guys with this sentimental shit, AJ and the charisma and the humbleness. Fuck all of that. This is the fight game. Those boxers don't give a fuck about that shit. Most of them don't. This humble. These guys are fighters. They beat each other in the face, and y'all talking about being humble and all of this
Dignity.
nonsense here. Get the hell out of here with that shit, bro. They don't
That's
give a
silly.
fuck about that. That's a fan perspective. And they
Yeah,
beating
but
each other in the face. And y'all talking about humility. Man, cut that out. The facts are is this. If AJ wins the belt, it is a good chance that he will continue to try to be great and become
yes,
greater
that's
after
what people are
before.
saying
That's
to
it.
you, D. Go ahead.
No, they don't have to say that to me. That's already understood. But what I'm the only thing that I was debating was the fact that the heavyweight division is fucking over if Tyson Fury wins. That's that fanboyism. That's that taking this whole AJ persona to a level that it's not. Because no single boxer, remember this, all of you fuckers, remember this. Boxing first, boxers second. No boxer is above boxing. Okay? And AJ, even though he is you guys' pedestal piece where you hold him up on a pedestal. Let's not get it twisted. It is an argument who is the face of boxing. Is it AJ or is it Canelo? Because you guys praise AJ for so much, but Canelo is still that face that means a lot too. Okay, nothing ends with AJ. Boxing will survive. Boxer is bigger than any single boxer, regardless of what you AJ fans think. So come back down to earth, fam. Really, come back down to earth.
The reason being, yeah, D, they reckon they can make another 300, 400, maybe $500 million out of AJ by just having those titles and having another 6, 7 fights. And the corporations are willing to support AJ. You know that. Around the world, they're ready to support him. With Tyson Fury, it seems like it's dead. I can't hear you. The Tyson Fury, it seems like there's a bit of a dead end. And it seems like he's very unpredictable. That's why the boxing world are more pushing for AJ to win this fight to keep boxing alive. Do you understand that part of it, D. Jefferson?
I do and I don't because but I understand exactly what they're saying. But here's something that they also need to understand: these corporations and these endorsers are looking to endorse the next boxer, whether that be AJ or anybody else. They can get their greasy goddamn palms on and make money. It's going to be them. So you guys again have AJ on that pedestal, and for some reason believe that the goddamn earth stops spinning when he loses or he goes out. No, it will be the next guy, whoever that next guy is. It will endorse him. Again, come back down to earth. It's not going to end with AJ. This is all I'm saying. Can AJ beat Fury? Sure, he can. Is AJ the number one heavyweight? Sure, he is. Did he have a fantastic performance against Pulev? You fucking right he did. But bring your ass back down to earth. This is boxing, and boxing is bigger, I will say again, than any one boxer, including your precious fucking AJ.
I mean, yeah, I get that, man. But I think what you're saying is that even if AJ loses, there's big fights for AJ in the near future. And there's a way to get these big fights with other fighters like Wilder, AJ, Dylan White, AJ. But it really does put that cloud on the thing if Tyson Fury wins and leaves the game. I would like to see Tyson Fury stay and defend his undisputed belts, D. Jefferson.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I don't really give a look. At the end of the day, let me tell you, AJ fans, this. At the end of the day, this might sound cold to you guys. Fury's my guy. He's my number one heavyweight, and I know AJ's you guys. I don't give a fuck which one of these cocksuckers win that shit. If AJ won it, I would be celebrating with you guys too. You know why? Because, like I said, boxing first, boxers second. I want to see a four belt, one guy hold all four of those belts. That's really the biggest thing on. I don't give a shit which one of them is. If fucking Fury went in there and lost to Wilder, and as long as Wilder dumbass signed that damn contract, and I can get four belt undisputed, him one guy will have it. That's what most interests me because I love boxing first. You guys put too much into these single particular fighters. It's the idea of having a four belt undisputed champion is what excites me more than anything. So if you guys want to put it all on AJ, let's go AJ. I'll go along with you. I really don't give a fuck. I want these two guys to get in the ring and settle it. That's what I really want.
So for you, it doesn't matter whether Tyson Fury wins or AJ wins. You just want to see the undisputed, right?
It's
As a fan.
boxing, fam. I want to see heavyweight four belt undisputed boxing. I love boxing. These guys love these fucking fighters. I mean, good. I root for these fighters too, but I love the sport more. The fact we're getting four belt undisputed, that should be the biggest thing. Everybody arguing this bullshit theory, mental and Joshua mental, and who will do what after. Y'all should be more excited that we have a chance to get 4 belt undisputed at the heavyweight division, which hasn't happened in over 20 years. That's the big thing. That's just my perspective on this sport we love called boxing. That's why my 5 favorite boxers are of no particular race or no particular country or whatever the fuck these people love to say. Teofimo Lopez, Errol Spence, Tyson Fury, Canelo Alvarez, Jamel Charlo. Those are my top 5 guys. They spread all around the fucking world. A gypsy, a fucking Irish Mexican, a goddamn black dude. Come on, girl. I don't give a fuck about none of this shit people clamor on about. It's about boxing, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
If AJ,
some people are
yo,
saying, yeah, that Tyson Fury needs to go and clean up the trilogy first before the undisputed. There's people coming in the chat saying that. They're saying that if boxing is first, give Deontay Wilder his chance then and give him his trilogy if boxing is first. But again, the bigger fight is Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury now than the trilogy. I mean, I'm just speaking from wherever I speak around the world. The bigger fight is Anthony Joshua and Fury. It's not Wilder anymore. Wilder's not the biggest heavyweight fight for Tyson Fury now. Do you guys agree with that?
That was a crying ass Wilder fan that put that in there. Let me tell you something, you crying ass Wilder fan. If it's
Challenge.
all about boxing, let me tell you something. It is about boxing. And that damn contract disagreement, because that's the only thing you idiots are leaning on. It's a contract agreement for the third fight. He gave him 2 chances. Wilder couldn't stop him in the first fight. He got his ass whippeth in the second fight. So it ain't about nothing else but a contract dispute. Other than that, he can move on from Wilder's yippity do ass and go give us 4 belt undisputed. If you idiots believe that I'm gonna put 4 belt undisputed in front of a goddamn Wilder trilogy, which Fury's just gonna go in there and beat him up again, man, y'all might as well go smack yourself. Because that ain't happening. Don't nobody give 2 shits about no damn Wilder trilogy when we could get 4 belt undisputed. Now I will say this: if he gets stuck into this Usyk situation, I say yeah, Fury should just go beat Wilder up again and get him and his silly ass fans out the way. Cause don't nobody give a ass about no damn trilogy with Wilder.
Oh shit, man. I mean, look, man, Wilder's also waiting for a rematch, bro. And Wilder fans are like, you can't fucking forget about us. We're sitting over here with our court paperwork. You guys in the pandemic, we couldn't get fans out. So don't fucking start putting Wilder like he don't deserve the trilogy. They said you got to deal with Wilder first, then go and have your fucking undisputed. Now, I'm going in between both of these. D. Jefferson, I don't think it's a good fucking move for Wilder to go for a trilogy. That's just my point of view. I think it's the worst thing Wilder can do. Go ahead.
I think it's a good move. I began to think, and I said this, I was right actually on your side. Initially for a long while, I was like, man, Wilder should just do something else because he's just gonna get beat up again. But as I think about it, how could he move forward? Like, how could he move forward as a fighter off of that ass whooping? And he definitely has an opportunity to redeem it, right? So as a fighter, you want to get that. Number two, there's no guy that you can put in front of Wilder that's going to bring him that kind of payday. So there lies another reason to get that trilogy done. And like I said, if Fury has to deal, I mean, AJ has to deal with Usyk, why not Fury? Stop with all of this bullshit and these low level fighters in between. Go ahead and give Wilder his trilogy match. Why not? Just go beat him up again. I get tired of all of this nonsense. These guys running around, jumping. Just go beat his ass again. Because Wilder can't beat Fury, bro. He's gonna wait 12 rounds to land the right hand. There is a possibility he knocks Fury down if he lands it, because he landed it 3 times in that second fight, and he didn't even stop him, buzz him, or nothing. So it's not like he's just gonna land that right hand. Man, he's not gonna win. He's not gonna win a fight. Okay, so it'll be Joshua and Fury after Joshua takes care of Usyk, because all of these Usyk fanatics and Joshua haters that think Usyk gonna come in there and beat Joshua can that shit. Fucking Derek Chisora should have told you guys everything you needed to know, but you just don't get it, man. He ain't beating no damn Anthony Joshua. So Fury will beat Wilder's head around the ring again. Joshua will take care of this Usyk work, and then they'll meet up anyway. Other than that, the four belt undisputed trumps all of that bullshit. Usyk and Wilder can go twerk together in the fucking park for all I care if it comes to four belt undisputed.
Hey, Wilder fans are in the building. They're saying, what are you talking about? Wilder's one of the richest heavyweights. He's one of the face of boxing. So I don't think D. Jefferson means what you guys are fucking saying, bro. You guys
Who
are
the
coming
fuck
on
cares
this.
about his money? I didn't say shit about money. I'm talking about four belt undisputed in matches. That's what these Wilder fans talking about money. Nobody cares about his money.
Well,
I
they're
didn't
saying
say a
it's one
damn
of the
thing
biggest
about it.
attractions in boxing is Wilder's still one of the biggest, attractions in
Of
boxing.
course he is. Of course he is, but not with the right dance partner. You fucking idiots think that Wilder's gonna make more money. Wilder fighting Andy Ruiz versus Wilder fighting Fury. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, bro. Wilder, yeah, he can make money, but the most money he's going to make is going to be in a Fury fight because he ain't getting a damn AJ fight. AJ got Usyk, and he definitely going after four belt undisputed first. So the most money that Wilder can get, you idiots, is a fight with Tyson Fury.
Of course.
That's what I said, and that's what I meant. And if you know anything about this sport of boxing right now, that's exactly a fact. That's a fact. There's nobody else you're gonna put in front of him. It's gonna draw more money to put into his goddamn bank account than Tyson Fury.
Yeah, I agree with D. Jefferson.
Yeah.
You need the right dancing partner. But a lot of the fans are here for Wilder and saying that that's your opinion and you don't know facts. But that is facts.
Yeah,
D.
whatever,
Jefferson
man. Well,
telling
tell them
facts.
to come to Speak Your Mind Sports Talk and click that goddamn link, and we'll debate about it. And I'll make
Oh,
it
yeah,
just
yeah,
as
yeah. By the
super
way, I'm
stupid as you
sharing this
sound
stream.
right now.
I'm sharing this stream in Europe, and that's where sometimes we get messages from our friends Facebook in Germany. What's your channel? Can you tell everybody how to find you and where to find you?
Yeah, just go to the YouTube search and put in SYMST. Put that in, and that's my channel. Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. Just put in SYMST.
Because I've had a lot of questions for you, and some of them are hating, bro. And I know D. Jefferson welcomes all the smoke. So if you've got
Yeah.
problems with what he's got to say, you can go to his channel, and he'll invite you on the panel, and you can have a civilized conversation about it. But don't keep coming here and saying D. Jefferson's talking shit or he's not talking facts, because I think he is talking some factuals there. That Deontay Wilder can only earn the money with the right dancing partner. He might be one of the biggest attractions in boxing, but he needs the right dancing partner. And that's Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Without those two, he's not the biggest ticket selling guy. Is that what you're saying, D?
You know what? He is absolutely the only one like that. Let me tell you why. Although Canelo is who he is, right? Anthony Joshua is the only guy in boxing right now that the money follows him. Canelo still got to get the right guy in front of him. You think that people was going to pay, or he was going to make Google's amount of money fighting a fucking Andy Yildirim? He most definitely was not, especially since he's broken up from Oscar De La Hoya in the Zone. Now, if he was with the Zone and he would have approved the fight, then he would have made Google's money, but only because of that contract. That's why the Zone didn't approve the fight, because it's a fucking loss. Now, if you look at Canelo outside of that Golden Boy of the Zone deal, now he has to go find a valid fight. He has to go find a valid opponent. Anthony Joshua got paid $80 fucking million with no fucking belts, fam. Nobody's doing that. Ruiz had the belt. Nobody in fucking boxing is doing that shit. That motherfucker got paid $80 million with no goddamn belts. He is a driving force. And all of these fucking haters out here don't like it. That's just how it is, man. They don't like it. This dude's a driving force and they don't like it. He's a force in the ring. He's a force with marketing. He's just a force. And they don't like it. Whether it's Fury fans, whether it's Wilder fans, whether it's hating ass Americans, because we got a lot of them over here. They just don't like it. That's all it is.
Hey, we got some questions in the chat, and let's get to some of these. I mean, Stephen 4722 says, I believe what you guys are saying. AJ Fury does need to happen next, and Wilder can go and rebuild and get some wins. I mean, that's what Stephen 4722 thinks. Stephen 4742 says that AJ sells out 70,000 seats by himself. He has no issues. He can sell everything all by himself, and he doesn't even need a dancing partner. So, I mean, is AJ the biggest attraction of the heavyweight scene?
I think he's literally the biggest attraction in boxing. That's what I'm saying. Like
What,
with
bigger than
Canelo,
Canelo? Is AJ bigger than Canelo in America? I don't think
well,
so.
you asked the biggest attraction. Like, so I was going by like sales and how much you can sell, but I still don't think he's bigger than Canelo per se, because Canelo been at it much longer and he's done too much. And Canelo fought Floyd, man. That goddamn Floyd persona follows everyone. Pacquiao is what Pacquiao is because he fought Floyd. Pacquiao is the money draw that he is because he fought Floyd. So Canelo is also attached to Floyd Mayweather. That name, that Canelo Alvarez name, that Floyd Mayweather name, that's where, Anthony Joshua is definitely catching ground, but it's still Canelo. So it's a different. Is he a more of a money man? I believe he is, because he can make fights happen without having to have a particular dance partner. He can the money draws are gonna come to him. But is he a bigger guy in boxing than Canelo? That's why there's the argument with these two, because it's not really fair to say that either. Because Canelo still, again, he's attached to Floyd Mayweather. Who the fuck is Anthony Joshua attached to? Klitschko and Wilder, and neither of them are celebrity of a Floyd Mayweather. You understand what I'm saying? Neither of them are caliber. Neither of them are going down as an all-time great. Whether people like it or not, Floyd Mayweather is.
Yeah, BG London says 1 minute. I'm a Joshua fan, and then I'm a Wilder fan. That's why I want these guys to be in it. And then he says, bruh, it's just an objective, bruh. Calm down. I think he's saying that to you, G. He's saying it's an objective, bruh. Calm down. But look, at the end of the day, right, it is what it is. AJ and Tyson Fury is a much bigger fight than Wilder in the mix now. It is what it is. Hey, D, if I asked you, is AJ and Wilder a bigger fight than AJ and Fury? I don't think so, because AJ Fury is undisputed.
It
Right?
just depends on where that WBC belt went. I'm not saying that because look, if while Fury has that belt, right, and it's for 4 belt undisputed. See, that plays a part of this too. People gotta understand. It's not just that it's AJ Wilder or AJ Fury. Plus, Fury got that missing link, that last piece to 4 belt undisputed. Now, if Wilder goes back in there, redeems himself, and beats Tyson Fury, I think the fights are equivalent because you got two UK champions, biggest thing in UK history, huge fight for the heavyweight division. But if Wilder regains his titles, now it's America versus the UK heavyweight champions, 4 belt undisputed. It's still a fucking massive fight. So either way you look at it, the fight is massive. Either way.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I want to talk about a fighter that nobody knows in England, Edgar Berlanga. Can you help me with sharing what he is and who he is and what we expect him in the future, GD, just for the Europeans? They don't know who Edgar Berlanga is yet. And Edgar
Puerto
Berlanga,
Rico. Oh, look, Edgar Berlanga, young Puerto Rican fighter, 16-0, 16 by first round knockout. And he just completed the 16-0 last night against the Ulysses Sierra. Edgar Berlanga is a very, very, very explosive young super middleweight guy. And look, this kid is huge. He has real power. And I hope that they'll move this kid the right way because he shows he already has fundamentals, but as a lot of these young kids are, they green and they have, some things to learn and hone those skills. But the problem with Belonga, it's a gift and a curse here. Yeah, he's impressive and he's doing all of this by knockout and such. But here's the thing. He has 16 fights now, right? But he doesn't even have 16 full rounds logged in. Not even 16 full rounds because it's 16 first round knockouts, which means he never completed the first round in any of these fights. He needs to get adversity, or he's just going to be another one of these exciting fighters that get beat up by the first guy that can take a punch. right? So he needs to get some adversity. They need to get him in there with a fighter that's going to give him some rounds. But he's very excited. And I think you guys should all go watch him and follow him because he shows a lot of potential. He has fundamentals under his belt. They need to clean some things up with him and get him in there with the right level of competition. And if they do that, he could be one of these guys that are the main guy of the sport like in the future. Seriously, this kid could be that because his power is phenomenal. And the way he throws his punches, like he's aggressive, bro. With that kind of power, he'll take it to the body. He changes levels already. Like this kid's aggressive. He's excited to watch. Edgar Berlanga, Puerto Rican fighter, man. Y'all check him out. This kid's nice.
So
16
Edgar Berlanga, can I
consecutive.
just talk to Blues? Blues, can you tell us who Edgar Berlanga is in your definition? Go ahead.
I don't know him at all other than what D just said, but 16 consecutive first round knockout. That's some video game shit.
Right.
Like, you don't hear about that in real life. And D's exactly right. You have to fucking test that dude before he's 28-0 and all of a sudden he's in front of an actual competitor where he's not been and he gets exposed on a bigger stage. Like, let him be tested. Yeah, man. Or Wilder, bro. Like, prime fucking example. Like, you have to put him through the rigmarole of being tested as an actual fighter, man. Like, early on. The earlier, the better. Because the more time he has to grow and develop an understanding that shit's going to happen. You got to adjust, man. Like, build that engine of adjustment early.
Yeah, but this guy that he knocked out in the first round, he was like 28-1 or something. This guy that he knocked out wasn't a journeyman, bro. This guy he knocked out was actually somebody with a good record.
Yeah, but at what point in his career?
Yeah, he was rap star, but I picked this is another one I hit dead on, and it wasn't just because he's been doing this. It was because it's hard to keep getting first round knockouts. But the reason I knew he was going to knock Tierra out in the first round is because Lionel Bellows is the last guy he fought. Lionel Bellows was much more durable and, in my opinion, much of a tougher level of competition than Ulysses Sierra. And I was like, man, he's gonna knock him out in the first round because he knocked Lionel Bello out in the first round. So this guy never had a chance. He was smaller than Lionel Bello. He's not as durable as Lionel Bello. So, it's just to the point with Edgar Berlanga and his handlers where I'm like this. Okay, enough of the knockouts. We know this kid can knock guys out. We don't need any more proof that he can knock guys out. He's knocked 16 of them out in the fucking first round. Now we need to see how can he do with his footwork? How can he do with utilizing jabs? How can he do with facing adversity? These are the things we need to see now. We don't need to know if he can knock somebody out. We got that. He can do that. Like, enough with these knockouts, man. We don't need no more fights where he's just going to go in there and slaughter the guy in the first round. Or you're turning him into a fucking Tank Davis or some stupid shit like that. Like, let's get him in some adversity.
You might not even need to change up the level of his competition. You might not even need to put him in there with a harder dude. You might just need to force him to pace himself and force him to get some fucking rounds in.
He needs to get in there with, I didn't mean to cut you off, Gabe, but he needs to get in there with a guy like, remember, everybody, one thing about Kevin Johnson in the heavyweight division, they throw him in there with a lot of these young hard punchers because Kevin Johnson is a guy that he ain't really going to get in there and beat you up. So you're not throwing your guy in there with a guy who's going to beat you boxing. But you ain't knocking this motherfucker out. You're going to have to show us some, you know what I mean? You're going to have to show us some skill. That's what they need to get him in there with. They need to get him in there with somebody who's got a solid enough chin that even if you do knock him out, oh, you ain't knocking this motherfucker out in no first round. He ain't never been knocked out, and he's spinning like a tank. So even if you knock him out, you're going to take about 8 or 9 rounds to do it. But he's not the best boxer, so we ain't worried about him beating you up. That's who they need to put him in there with. Somebody like that that's going to give him some rounds. Because if you just keep putting him in there,
I got some opponents for you guys, and I want you guys to Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I said I want you guys to tell me about these opponents. Is Berlanga ready for our John Ryder in England? Do you think
That's
John
a great
Ryder?
fight.
Do you think John Ryder is John Ryder because John Ryder in the rankings is way more proven than Belanga, but Belanga is coming up so quick, so quick. Do we need to match him up with somebody like a John Ryder, or is that too early, D Jefferson?
No. I think that's a great fight, and this is no disrespect to John Ryder. Uh, this is actually a tribute to John Ryder, and no disrespect to John Ryder at all. I think that's a great fight because John Ryder is a rugged, tough motherfucker, and I seen these punches he took from Callum Smith. All right, and I don't care what people clamoring on about Berlanga's power. Callum Smith got power. And John Ryder was taking some hellacious blows from him. So John Ryder is the guy, in my opinion, that's not just going to get in there with Berlanga and fold in the first fucking round, or the second, or the third, or the fourth, or the fifth. Now, maybe Berlanga might get him out in six or later, but Ryder going to at least give him some rounds. Ryder can box, he can pressure you, he can dig on the inside. You know what I mean? He gave Callum Smith all kind of help. And the people that cries about a robbery, I don't think this is, unwarranted. I'm not saying I go for a robbery, but you damn sure could have given John Ryder that win. I don't mind him giving it to Callum Smith, but if they'd have called John Ryder for the win, I could have seen that one too. So John Ryder, that would be a great test for Berlanga because it would be kind of like a double question. Can
Right.
Berlanga get to John Ryder, and can John Ryder put this young lion away? Is John Ryder that kind of guy? Like, don't come up here thinking I'm no gatekeeper. I'm still in this, right? That would be great for John Ryder. That would be great for Edgar Berlanga. I would like to see that.
So if Belanga can come through John Ryder, would you like to see him fight Daniel Jacobs? Would you like Belanga to be matched up with Jacobs if he can win against Ryder? Or is that too
Yeah.
early again?
Yeah, that would be great. Jacobs or Rosado or move up to that level. If he should be able to get through Ryder, yeah, because I think that Ryder he could possibly give Jacobs issues, right? He might probably beat Gabe Rosado as well. So if you get past Ryder, yeah, fight you some more guys like that, guys that's going to give you some rounds, right?
Like Gabriel Rosado? Gabriel Rosado's a good
Gabriel
matchup.
Rosado,
Martin Murray,
Daniel
you got
Jacobs.
Martin Murray there. Martin Murray gave he's still there. I mean, he's not doing
Nah,
well.
I would put Martin. Martin, did you see Martin in that last fight, man?
I did see that.
Yeah, I think Berlanga. Martin getting a little long in the tooth. he might put Martin down, dog.
So we're talking John Ryder, Gabriel Rosado, Daniel Jacobs. Now, if he wins those fights, do you believe in what Punch Drunk Boxing said? Match him up with Canelo, or is that crazy? Explain that, please.
No, Punch Drunk be literally drunk sometimes. Man, look, let the dude breathe. He talking about. See, here's the thing. I will say this about what Punch Drunk said.
Punch said he wouldn't be ready, but they're gonna ask for the fight no matter what.
Right. They would call for it, and I see why. Because if Jacobs Jacobs fought Canelo for the championship. So if Berlanga was to get in there and he was to beat a Jacobs, they were like, shit, well, don't say he ain't ready. He just beat a guy who fought Canelo for the championship. Now, so legitimately, yeah, you can put him in there. And I think that's what Punch is saying. People going to bitch and cry and moan for it. And you could put him in there legitimately because he would no longer be a prospect at that point. If he goes and beats a Ryder and Rosado or Jacobs, after he beats two of the three of those guys, he's a contender now. He's no more prospect. And so you can put a contender in there to contend for the title. Do I personally believe that Berlanga would be ready at that point? No. Not for the best in boxing, or arguably the best in boxing. No. Give the kid some more time. He probably needs some more fights before you go in there fucking with Canelo. Because now you're talking about a kid that got power. Okay, fine. But now you're talking about a guy who has the experience, damn sure has the skills, and arguably the best chain in boxing. Because I don't give a rat's ass about Berlanga's power. Triple G got fucking power, okay? And Canelo was eating that shit. So when we start talking about Canelo, this ain't no goddamn Lionel Bello or damn Sierra. This is Canelo Alvarez, okay? And so that's You know, he's gonna have to prove to himself before you. I don't care if he goes in there with Canelo, he's just gonna get beaten if he ain't ready.
He'll probably get knocked out if he goes against Canelo. He'll
Yeah,
probably get knocked the
very
fuck
good
out.
chance.
I mean, so if we match up Berlanga with John Ryder, right, and then we give him Rosado and Jacobs, where the fuck does he go next? I mean, where the fuck would you match him up if it
Challenge
ain't
the
the
champion.
Canelo? Who?
Challenge the champion. Hang a plant. BJS. Try to get a belt. Because I think
Oh, so go for the Kalen Plant. Go for Kalen Plant to get that title, right?
I mean, try
Go
to
on that route.
get a strap. Because if he gets past Ryder, and I don't think it takes all three of those guys, like two of the three. Say if he gets past Ryder and Rosado, or uh, Rosado and Jacobs, or Jacobs and Ryder, that's enough for him to go challenge Plant or BJS. I put him ready for those guys to go challenge for a fucking belt. Because look, man, he could beat one of those guys if he can prove it. But I just think that he needs fights. I don't. I mean, we're talking about him, of course, now, but before John Ryder, why don't he take a couple of fights that will push him a little bit? You know, because Ryder is still levels above anybody he's fought. John Ryder ain't no goddamn sucker. He played that against Callum Smith. This dude, he's ready to brawl. So I think that I believe that Edgar Berlanga needs like two fights right now, two good fights, and then go to a level like a
Hey, what
Ryder.
about Chris Eubank Jr.? Chris Eubank Jr. seems to be in
No,
that
he's
weight. He
dangerous,
played
man.
168,
He's
160.
dangerous.
What about Chris?
I think
Oh,
he's
Chris
upper
Eubank
level.
Jr.
I
is too
think he's
dangerous
dangerous.
for Berlanga right now, right? It's too dangerous.
No, I think he's dangerous. I think he's upper level. Chris Eubanks, look, that Billy Joe Saunders Chris Eubanks fight was a good fight. I think Chris Eubanks beats him right now.
Yeah, a lot of people say that in England too.
Yeah, I think Eubank beats him now. Forget about the fight before. That was a good fight. But right now, I think Eubank beats him. So I ain't like Eubank is on a higher level. I put him up there as a challenge. Just because he doesn't have the belt, I think he's just as much of a threat, if not more, than a Billy Joe Saunders. So I think this Belanga's a kid, man. He's a kid and he's powerful, but he needs to learn still. Like we don't want to hold these kids back, but just because he can knock guys out in the first round, we need to, pump the brakes with this kid and before he gets ruined. You know what I mean? Don't just
So you
go on to
think
the wall.
so you think match him up nicely for the next 18 months, and then in the next 18 months get him ready for Kalen Plant, as long as Kalen Plant's still holding the title, right?
Make sure, yeah, get him ready because he's fighting plenty of fights, so it might not even take that long. The little fucker just fought like 7 fights last year, right? So he's fighting plenty of fights. So if he fights 3 or 4 fights and he can get that done in a year and a half, yeah, sure, why not? Fight a rider, fight a champion. That would be cool because he'll probably be at like 21, 22 fights then, and he'll be proven. Yeah, fight Ryder and fight a champion. He wouldn't even have to go to like a Ryder and a Jacob. Just take a Ryder. If you can get past that, take a champion. But that would be more work than Teofimo's put in, so it can be done. We don't want to string these kids along for too long. Teofimo has done what he's done in 16 fights, right? So let's get Belonga in there with the right guys, get him some good fights, and then boom.
I think what would be good for Belanga, he's a Puerto Rican, right? A Puerto Rican brother.
Hey, that's right.
Yeah, I think what would be good for Belanga, everybody in England and different countries know who Teofimo Lopez is. Put Belanga on the co-main event of Teofimo Lopez and build him against big cards, but try and get him into a co-main soon. Don't put him as an undercard where nobody gets to see it. Put him
No,
in. Go ahead.
Teofimo's Honduran. So I
No,
mean, I
I
think the
get that, but
concept
I just
is
thought we can get
that
him on one of those undercards so he can build his Puerto Rican profile. You know what I mean?
yeah, shit, yeah. I mean, well, I don't know. Yeah, he needs to get on some big undercards. I don't care who it is, but he just needs to fight. He just needs to fight somebody that he got to come out of the first round, man. They need to do their matchmaking and get this guy out of the first round. That's the biggest thing. They got to get him out of the first round. Because it's not serving him well, and we know enough about that. Like he has power, he's aggressive, but we don't. How many first round knockouts do you need? That shit ain't gonna matter uh down the line. If he goes 28 and if he goes 28-0 with 28 knockouts and those first 16 being first round knockouts, and then the 29th fight he steps up to, let's not say a champion, but a guy before the champion, and he loses, none of that shit he did matter. None of it.
Yeah, but all the fans, this me and you've been speaking about Berlanga. We've had like 40, 50 messages. They want to see Jacobs, Rosado, Billy Joe Saunders. They said John Ryder's a very good option, rap star. So it seems like people want to see the fights with Berlanga. Is he in a bad position? Because he hasn't got no rounds in. He keeps beating these guys in the first round, and now he has to step up.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't need to step up?
No, they don't need to step up because the fans rarely ever get what they want. Who the fuck cares what they clamoring for? What his team need to do is move him the right way. At this point, they don't need to give the fans what they want. They need to move the kid the right way. Fuck the fans. Because the fans are gonna love you or hate you when they feel necessary. You can do everything right. But one fight, you're the fucking enemy. So fuck the fans. Move this kid the right way. That's what they need to do.
So he fights at 168 pounds, correct?
Yeah.
So he fights at 168, and Berlanga hasn't faced anybody in the top 15 yet.
Nope.
I've just checked. He hasn't faced nobody.
No.
So this now Berlanga's coming to the point in his life where the opponents are going to start being better. They got to be. I'm not saying.
Yeah, they gotta be. I mean, it's time for him to move up. That's what I was saying. We don't need no more knockout shows. Like, let's start moving this kid up. Get him into, from 15, like from 20 to 10, top 20 to 10 fighters. Like, let's start getting them in there with them, and then move them into the upper echelon guys, and then take them just one fight. I mean, once he fight a few guys in the top 20. Just take him to one of the upper echelon guys. I don't care if it's Jacobs, Ryder. If he can get past one of them, shoot him in for a title shot. 4 or 5 fights, the kid should be. I think Punch was saying, like, in 4 or 5 fights, there'll be an expectation, if that's what he was saying. In 4 or 5 fights, I think we should be able to see enough that we're going to see. Mike Tyson, Teofimo Lopez, Ali, Leon Spinks, all of these guys became champions at very young ages. You don't have to wait forever, everybody. Just need to see enough to know that they're ready. So Berlanga can do it. You don't have to wait 32 fights and until they're 27 years old and all of this fuckery that people talk about. No, this is why you have guys that compete with the better guys and win at an early age, because some guys are like that. Mike Tyson was able to accomplish that because he had devastating power. Well, Berlanga has devastating power. So you hone those other skills, and he doesn't have to take long. 4 or 5 fights. I'm not saying he would beat Canelo, but hey, it's always a question. A guy with
But
power.
Canelo's a pound for pound guy. And let me just say this to Blue Jefferson. Teofimo Lopez stepped up his opponents when he fought just before Nakatani. And then he fought Nakatani, who was unbeaten. Then he went into an IBF world title and he beat Richard Comey. And then he went against a pound for pound guy like Canelo Alvarez and Lomachenko. Can Berlanga do something similar to that, you think?
Yes, but he needs a couple of more fights because Teofimo was ahead of him because of his amateur pedigree, and he'd already had higher level fights at that point. Berlanga's had none of that, so he got to at least get that. They can't just right off the bat compare him to Teofimo. Teofimo had 150 amateur fights, and he won 130 some odd fights of those, right? So that added to his boxing. He's been to nationals, the Olympics, championships, Teofimo. And then he came in and he fought guys like Magdaleno, Edith Tatley, Nakatani, Richard Comey before he stepped up in there. So we have to get Berlanga at least that level of competition before we just toss them up there. It's similar. They're similar in age, but they've had different paths in boxing. So we need to at least give Edgar Berlanga the chances and the experiences and the adversity that Teofimo had before he went into a fight with Lomachenko. Teofimo went 12 rounds with Nakatani, and he learned. Oscar Edgar Berlanga went more than one round with nobody. So nah, bro, we gotta get him through some rounds. Like, let's just be serious. We have to give him some rounds.
So then Punch is not really saying anything which is out of the normal. Teofimo's done it. So if this guy goes against a John Ryder, that's a similar like a Nakatani kind of a maybe step up. And if it's not John Ryder, Daniel Jacobs is definitely that step up. And then you said follow the Kalen Plant because people are asking, what route do you want Berlanga to go against? If it's not Canelo, you want him to follow the path to get to Kalen Plant, right? So if he can go in after 2-3 fights and beat Kalen Plant, bro, I don't think Punch is saying anything out of the normal. They're going to be asking Berlanga to step up against Canelo eventually.
No, and I think that it's valid then, because if he fights a couple of fights, takes Ryder, and then he gets Plant, right? And he gets Caleb Plant. That's basically identical to what Teofimo did. He fought a few fights. He took Comey, which was a champion, and then he went for the best champion. And that'll be exactly what Berlanga would be doing. And I don't want to hear that it's impossible he can't, because he could do it. When Lomachenko, before he lost to Teofimo Lopez, it was no clear cut. It was always an argument which guy was number one. Was it Crawford? Was it Canelo? Or was it Lomachenko? It was an argument. People would argue who was number one pound for pound. Well, he was in that discussion, right? So I couldn't say that, damn, that dude's a beast. I couldn't say that he couldn't do it. Yeah, sure, a Berlanga could do it. But I gotta see more from Berlanga. I saw plenty enough from Teofimo to say, yeah, he could beat Lomachenko. From what the amount that I've seen from Edgar Berlanga, I don't have shit to tell me he can beat Canelo. Nothing. 15 fights, what? He has logged on about a little under 9 minutes. And those 15 fights total, he has logged on a little under 9 minutes, which means he essentially has half, if you count it up, half the full round, probably like 8 rounds of boxing out of 16 rounds, a little more than 9 rounds of boxing out of 16 rounds. That's literally if you count all the time up. Come on, bro. He gotta get some more under his wing. You can't talk about him fighting guys with 100 rounds of boxing plus, and he's got literally 9 rounds of boxing. 9 rounds of boxing. And that's adding all his time up, because it's not in any single fight. Out of all 16 fights, you add all the time up you spend in the ring, and it's 9 rounds. 9.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to let you guys know there's people in the building who know you guys. Seems like there's a guy called Modic Warriors in Bolton. He says, big up to D, big up to Phil, and big up to Rapstar. Jed Carl's in the building. Jed Carl, big up to you. Mr. Popo's in the building. Miguel Robles and Jeff Lucito just made it back in the building. But we think Belanga's opponents need to be wisely matched, regardless of how good he's looking. You need to wisely match him before it goes wrong for him. Is that what you're saying, D? Right? You're saying that we need to match him against like a John Ryder, Gabriel Rosado, Daniel Jacobs. Maybe even we could find, eventually, if he wins those fights, a Chris Eubank Jr. And then maybe get him to a title shot against Kalen Plant, providing he wins those fights. And then maybe you can start hyping up eventually when he could fight a Canelo in the near future. I mean, Berlanga seems to be one of the biggest talents coming out of Puerto Rico, bro. Honestly. And he might be the hardest puncher in the game, but he needs to prove it against credible opponents. But D. Jefferson, before the building, and we leave the building later, what did you think of your man Shakur Stevenson, bro? What was his performance like for you?
Well, that was absolutely the best performance of the night out of everyone. I mean, look, let's not forget, people was Custio Clayton. It's going to be a tough fight for Shakur. And I actually agree, because he's been probably on a higher level than most of the people Shakur has been in the ring with. But Shakur just made it look like it was not a tough fight at all. I mean, it was a total. It was the scorecards were unanimous, 100-90, unanimous. They didn't give him one fucking round, and he didn't get one round. Or
God damn.
everything
Roper-Dope
worked
asked me.
in that fight.
Roper-Dope asked me to ask you a question because he's watching in. He's telling me, don't you think they should have stopped the fight, D. Jefferson? Because the kid
No,
was taking a beating after a beating
no,
in every round. Go ahead.
no, and
Explain
I'll
why.
tell you why. Because before that fight, I picked Shakur Stevenson to win by decision. Here's the thing. Shakur Stevenson's, I think, 22, 23, so he got a few years. We got to see where his strength ends up at as far as his punch power. Right now, Shakur Stevenson lacks punch power, and everybody knows it. So, yeah, a guy's taking a lot of punches, but it's not like a Mateus and Maxim Dadashev type thing, or Shakur not packing that type of Mateus punch power, right? And so, yeah, he was beating him up, but then Tucker Clary was showing some fight back in him. And you don't stop a guy when he's showing fight back in him. And then, this is the fight game. Guys want to say, no, fuck that. You beat me, but you did not stop me. So he has every right to continue to fight because he's not in this dangerous situation. Shakur's power is still in question, but he has so much more without the power. If he gets respectable power, just respectable power, it's going to be hard to beat. He doesn't have to be a concussive puncher, nothing. Just respectable power enough to get a guy's attention. That kid's going to be hard to beat by anyone.
He's
He'll be
got
like
amazing boxing skills. His
he'll be
boxing
like
skills
another
make up
Lomachenko.
for the power. Go ahead.
Yeah, he'll be like another Lomachenko. That's exactly what he'll turn into. If he gets respectable power, decent power, he'll be like another Lomachenko, only much younger. You know what I'm saying? And bro, I'm telling you, that's exactly how I see Shakur. I think he has a good chance to beat Tank Davis right now, and I'm not even capping.
Wow. I mean, I'm not
I
gonna
think
lie
he
to
has a
you.
chance to beat Tank Davis right now.
Yeah, I think Shakur Stevenson is making me. I just when I watch him on an eye test, he seems to have better amazing skills than Devin Haney. Shakur Stevenson
Yeah,
shows me that he's got better boxing skills and a better pop than Devin Haney. Now, what'd you say to that?
the punch power, no. I think the punch power, that's the problem with both of them. Neither of them really got any power. But skill wise, yeah, fuck that. Hands down. He's better skilled than Haney. And I don't care what any of these Haney. Look, out of all of these young guns, every fucking one of them from whatever division, little smaller guys to the heavyweight division, all the young guns, Shakur Stevenson is above them all. My guy Teofimo, Devin Haney, Jared Anderson, I don't give a fuck. Take your pick. Shakur Stevenson is above them all when it comes to overall skill. This kid is light years ahead of himself.
I think Shakur Stevenson is going to surpass Devin Haney because I can see it on the eye test. And that's just my opinion. I feel he's better boxer than Devin Haney. And I feel that when he moves up, he will carry power because I feel that he's developing. And I think Shakur Stevenson, if he gets that little bit more pop, D. Jefferson, he's going to be the golden child of boxing. It's going to be hard to
golden
beat this
child.
fucking bro. It's going to be hard to beat him. He reminds me of Oscar De La Hoya, bro, in the early young days. He's going to be hard to
He's
beat.
Devin Haney right now.
He's just becoming that guy that I can't see how somebody's going to beat him, bro.
I think he beats Devin Haney right now. I think if he
What?
moved up, yeah,
You think he beats Devin Haney if he moves up right now?
I think he beats Devin Haney right now if he moves up to 130. Because listen, when you move up in weight, what's your biggest concern? Is not being able to take the guy's punch. People knock you out. Devin Haney don't got no damn power. He don't got no damn power. So I think Shakur Stevenson moves up to 135 and beats him right now. Right now. Because Devin Haney ain't outboxing Shakur Stevenson, fam. I'm not trying to hear all this dumb shit with Devin Haney fans. He's not going to outbox Shakur Stevenson.
So you think Shakur Stevenson is the guy with the best attributes, and the one to watch out for is Shakur Stevenson. But let's be honest. At 130, who would you like to see Shakur Stevenson fight next? Oscar Valdez,
No.
Michael Brechet, Who do you want to see for Shakur Stevenson now, 2021? Let's go.
Berchelt or Tank Davis?
What happened to Oscar Valdez? What happened to Oscar Valdez? Go on.
Fuck Valdez. He's not on their level.
He's a
Look,
world champion. He's a world champion.
Okay, rap star. There you go with that sentimental shit. You ask me who would I like to see him fight. I don't give a fuck about what Valdez deserves or him to be in the mix. You ask me who would I like to see him fight. Fuck Valdez. I would like to see him fight Berchelt or Tank. I don't look at Valdez as the threat that I look at in Tank or Berchelt. No, I don't. So Robert Garcia, I think Valdez is exceptional, especially the fact that he's with the Garcia jump, especially that. But he's not on their level. He's not. I don't care what anybody say. He's not on their level. And if you're asking me what intrigues me, the fight I want to see the best fight, the best. Oscar ain't the fucking best. That would be Tank or Berchelt. I would want to see him fight one of those two guys.
Somebody said, what about Gary Russell Jr.? Would you go for that if Gary moves up to 130?
Gary Russell Jr. should retire and focus on his brother, Gary Antoine Russell. And just shut the fuck up. I'm tired of Gary Russell. Even hearing about Gary Russell. You fought 6 times in 5 years, and the guys that you fought didn't mean a goddamn thing. Gary Russell, either go do something with yourself. You know what? Gary Russell, you fight Tank or Berchelt, and then Shakur Stevenson fight one that you don't fight. Other than that, tell Gary Russell to jump off a bridge somewhere.
Hey, Gary Russell's still in the mix. It's just that he's slowed down at the moment, man. He's not getting no fucking fights. But Blues, what do you think of Shakur Stevenson and what do you think about his future, bro? Blues, are you in the building?
Yeah, my bad.
What do you think of Shakur Stevenson, bro?
I honestly didn't see it, and I don't know shit about him, so you're going to go to deal with this.
Yeah. I mean, I think Shakur Stevenson definitely looks like the real deal. And I think Shakur Stevenson is the guy who's going to make some noise for America. And like D said, put him straight in with Tank Davis. D reckons that Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson, they're ready. I mean, you think Shakur Stevenson ready for Tank Davis, right? You're saying that, right, D?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he's ready for Tank Davis and Berchelt. Both of them.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you're very, very confident with Shakur Stevenson. And it seems like he could be the guy who's going to make a lot of noise. But on that one, D. Jefferson, you need to let everybody in the building, in the chat. We've had a great chat today. Just let everybody know how to find you, where they can find you, and then we're going to exit the building because Rapstar got some shit to deal with. Go ahead, D.
All right, well, y'all can find me for one right here kicking it with my man Rapstar Boxing Knowledge. You know, I could try to get over and kick it with Rapstar every chance I get. But outside of that, you can find me on Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. That's my channel, man. I do a daily live where we talk boxing. I open the panel up. Anybody could come up there and give their opinions. If you got a Twitter page, hit me at Speak Your Mind ST. Speak Your Mind Sports Talk on Facebook and Instagram. All right, guys.
Hey, man, really appreciate having you guys in the building, Blues. Thanks for pulling up in the building, Blues.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys up next week when the next fights are coming in, right? We'll be cooking it up, Blues. And you're always welcome to the panel, my brother.
Cool. Everybody take care, man. Peace out.
Yeah. And peace out to everybody in the chat. Peace out to everybody in the panel. I hope everybody has a great week. We got a great week coming ahead. We got more fights to come. We'll catch everybody soon. Tony Boswell just made it in the house. Much respect to Jeff. Much respect to everybody. The Miguels, everybody who walked into the building. All of you who supported the channel. Let's not forget, we got big fights coming up. Mr. Popo, we'll catch you all soon, brother. Jeff Lucid, we'll catch everybody soon, bro. Peace out to the chat, man.